Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome. On. Let me get in here. How y'all doing? I saw Sherelle. I saw Queen Nita. How's everybody doing today? All right, let me see. I swear it's hard to find your own channel up in here. Okay, there I am. Hey. So, everyone knows we're about to get into it today, okay? I want you guys to drop those jewels, drop those gems when you hear some stuff. I got a show for y'all today because I got some stuff to say about this entire topic. Okay, are Steph and Ayesha poly? Are they? Like, what do you guys think? You can go ahead and give me your opinions before we get started. I would love to hear your opinion about it. I don't know if you guys know about like the whole story of Steph and Ayesha, but let me just kind of break it down a little bit, okay? But before I do that, I want to introduce these wonderful, wonderful people because I got a cast for y'all. I am surrounded by the men today, and that's just like Wanna Chica. I love to be surrounded by the men. They support me, it is what it is. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. O. Let me bring Mr. O in. Y'all say hi to Mr. O because he is going to break this down for us. He is going to put it all in perspective, and we're going to know exactly what's going on before he get off the stage.
Hello. It's Mr. O, and I'm just living. We're going to bring a little insight to this thing today. Just answer some questions that may be unanswered and give some clarity. At the same time, show a little charity.
Thank you, Mr. O. And my boy, everybody knows I'm going to bring on Mr. Evolutionary Playboy.
Good afternoon, all.
Hey, I'm excited. Mr. Playboy, he always gonna be on here. So y'all, when he come on here, y'all already know. If I come, Wanna Chica come, I'm gonna bring my boy. As we got this thing, we got this vibe going on, and I want to make sure we translate to y'all. And then I don't know if y'all saw my last show, but LB came on my show. He got me to just pour my heart out. I was opening up. I talked about stuff I ain't talked about. I gave y'all some gems. So I had to bring him back because really, he was intricate in me confessing. You know what I'm saying? I confessed to y'all last time, so I'm like, come on now, LB. If you get that out of me, you need to come on back on the show.
I'm happy to be back. Thank you.
Thank you. So y'all know the drill. Follow my boy, Mr. O, living his best life. Follow Evolutionary Playboy or subscribe. Follow their IG, subscribe, because they also put out content that is really dope. Hence the reason why I have them on the show today, because I really want to get their perspective on this, okay? But before we get started, I just want to talk about my impression of this. Okay, and I want to give y'all a little backstory about Steph and Ayesha. But do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I was like 6 away from 200, y'all. Can y'all believe that? Like, I started like a couple weeks ago, and
I passed me already. I'm about to start doing some on my channel though.
You got to start up because listen, as soon as you start up, they're gonna run to your channel. So I am so grateful though. I'm this close. So if you have not subscribed and click that little bell, you need to subscribe to my channel right now. And don't forget to drop jewels. Drop those jewels because I know y'all gonna hear some stuff today. Y'all gonna, be like, oh man, like they talking about some real stuff. And I really, really, truly want y'all to get into it. How about this? Mr. Rucker is on. You know what? The prenup king is here.
Prenup
The
king.
prenup king.
Hey, man, I don't got no neck muscles, man. Come on now.
I got to bring the prenup king on because
I was about to say,
up.
Playboy, no neck muscles.
I got all the neck muscles. I'm flexible.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you know. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Let's just leave it at that. Leave it at that. Okay. So here's the thing. An anonymous source indicated that a well-known NBA couple was in an open marriage. Okay. So the rumors came from this person. I guess she called herself the Queen of Gossip. Okay. Nobody actually knows who the Queen of Gossip is. Okay. So she is just this person that drops all these jewels, and people they've been able to validate a lot of her rumors. Okay. Now, she doesn't want to ever reveal herself, from what I understand. She's always going to remain anonymous. Her name is the Queen of Gossip, from what I understand. However, there has been like several other sources that have reported this incident as well. They went on to report that this NBA couple, they're married, but they are reported to do side hookup and flings every now and again, which leads people to believe that they're in an open marriage. Okay. Now, everyone is suspecting that it is Steve and Ayesha. Now, with this basic information, this is all they know, that he's a well-known NBA couple, that this is what was said. Now, Ayesha, I don't know if y'all remember earlier, like maybe 2019, it was a while ago, actually, not earlier, but a couple of years ago. She did a Red Table interview, I think with her mother-in-law, a Red Table talk with Jada. She was heavily criticized on that Red Table talk because she made comment that men didn't flirt with her like they did with Steph Curry. Because he's in the limelight, she really doesn't get attention. She felt like men just didn't, come for her. And she said that it made her a little bit insecure. And people criticized her. They felt like she was asking for male attention. And why do you need male attention? You're married to Steph Curry. You're in a happy marriage. What is it? So I think for people, it made them think that she was insecure about her marriage. And so they're insinuating that comment kind of opened the door and exposed her. And pretty much exposed her and Stephen's relationship, and basically let people know that she's unhappy in her marriage. But for me, Steph, he responded supportive of his wife and basically was like, yeah, I understood where she was coming from. However, regardless, the people were still critical, child, of everything she said. So I have been just kind of like watching lately, and everybody has been buzzing about this whole poly thing. Like, are they really poly? What's going on with Stephen and Ayesha? I knew it, and blah, blah, blah. And she is, she's making him be poly, and she's doing all this stuff. So, especially the men in the manosphere. And y'all know how I feel about the manosphere. Don't get me started on this damn manosphere again. I already went off on the manosphere before, so we'll go back to the manosphere later. But it's too many men in the manosphere space blaming Ayesha Curry for this rumor. Okay. They're like, she's the reason why they're in an open relationship, and she's making Steph Curry be in this relationship and this, that, and the third. How is it that men who claim they want to be leaders in their community, or are leaders, not want to be, that they are leaders in their home, in their community, but they just continue to blame women for everything that happens in the home? So now somehow she's able to dictate what type of relationship they have, and she's all in control. I don't understand why men in the manosphere do this. However, it just really is counter what they say. It's like, oh, we have all this power and all this other stuff. However, you can't control your woman. That's a problem for me. So I think that people mention Will and Jada and compare them to Ayesha and Stephen because of this whole thing, right? Um, and we all know that everybody says that Jada was the reason kind of why her and Will are in this open marriage. But here's the thing, why are men letting women tell them how they should be in relationships? If that's the case, I'm curious as to why y'all supposed to be leaders in your home and your community, but then women can tell y'all that they want to be in an open relationship and it's all our fault. So I know I didn't start. I know I said some stuff. I know the men are ready to go. But I want to say this also. If this is a thing, like they are really in a poly relationship, which this is alleged. All of this is alleged. All of this is rumors. Let me say that over and over again. It's all rumors. It's all alleged. If this is really a thing, maybe, just maybe, Steph realized that he's unable to please his own wife. Listen, y'all want to put it out there that Ayesha making him do all this stuff. What if he can't please his wife? Why are men blaming her? I just don't understand that. Is he like not an adult in control of his own decisions? I understand that Jada and Will have similar dynamics, so people are trying to compare the two. And I think that people see Ayesha as like a dominating personality, and they think that she has some sort of dominating personality. She's able to convince Stephen to do whatever. I guess that's people's feel. But I do think that she is devoted to Steph. That's my opinion. I do believe wholeheartedly she is devoted to Steph. That, in my opinion, his lifestyle makes it more likely that he's dipping off while he on the road than her. And I think that her conversation on the Red Table Talk was more about getting attention from her husband, because she sees like, okay, he's getting all this attention. And I think that maybe if she feels like, okay, if men were flirting with me, then Steven would like see, that I'm desirable to people, and like that would make our relationship at least, stronger. Because, men always want what everybody else wants. So don't act like y'all don't. But I believe that they truly have a good relationship. So I know y'all like, this girl has lost her damn mind. But I had to get it out. I took Mr. O's advice and just did a whole monologue so y'all could just get me afterward. You know what I'm saying? So
let's go.
I did say a lot. I just want to know, why do you so what's your impression of it? I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and get y'all spill, since I went in and talked about how I felt.
Let me attack it like this. First I want to say this. I'm gonna tell guys something that all women know already. When a woman stops seeing you as a man and she starts seeing you as like a child she take care of, there ain't nothing you can do about it. She gonna always see you like that, and there's nothing that you can do to change that. If you don't maintain that image and that type of power in that relationship, she will always see you like that. I personally think she was more popular than him in high school. He just doesn't have that career. It ain't in him to be out there cheating. And so I want to say this. I want to break down all of these terms that we're using, because it can cause some confusion when we're trying to explain this. But what I want to say before that, I lost my thought. But polyamory and open relationship, we polyamory is like the umbrella, man. It stems from that Greek word poly, meaning many, and amor, love. So many loves, right? And in polyamory, there's a general consensus that they don't allow like jealousy. It's managed, and they are in a relationship with the people that are in that unit. Primarily it's closed, but they do have open ones. But that's different than what an open relationship is, where an open relationship, you have a primary couple. You have a primary man and a primary woman. and they will allow their primary to step outside for a sexual desire. Like before I go too deep into this, like you gotta like step outside of like this world's ideology on how things work and just think like simple biology tells you that the male libido is different on all males. Like our sexual desires are different. Like every man don't want it as much as others, but people have different sex drives. People just do. It's not created equal where everybody wants sex on Tuesday nights once a week. And no, it doesn't work like that. And people biologically are born beyond this word that was created called monogamy. Some people were born non-monogamous. This exists. So for people's like need to want to fit into these little boxes that we've created for ourselves in this country, the need to want to do that is causing all of this out of order thing that's going on within the dynamic of Ayesha trying to find herself in a world of A-listers now when she didn't come from that. And she knows she don't match up to what she see on the sideline. So this could very well be covering up a bigger scandal that could come out. And this is just the preacher. How all we know they put this out, to get everybody to think about the realms of what polyamory would be. Now, you have situations where polyandry would be where a woman would have multiple men, and that would be acceptable. I'm more of the polygyny, where there's one man and multiple women, but it's all contained within that unit.
So one man married to multiple women, or you saying like polyamory?
He presides over multiple women in that home. Now, marriage is a whole nother thing with the state. But if he's governing over that unit, that household, those women belong to him. But polyamory is just many loves. But it's typically and they take out the idea of exclusivity being the basis of sustainability in a relationship. Like sex has nothing to do with like longevity. They're more focused on the business, right? The business of the relationship. Because I know that this man has deeper needs. Now, in this high value society, this other world, this is already understood. Some men, a lot of these guys who run these big companies, their wives is at home, and she's allowed to be with the pool guy, and he's allowed to have this secretary that he fly all across the world with, this personal assistant. Like everybody know what's going on. This is acceptable in most lifestyles with people who are really, really valuable and high power. They have multiple women in their lives. All throughout history, powerful men presided over multiple women. Because even if you look at the numbers alone, there ain't enough suitable men to cover all the women out here. And if you want a suitable man mentally that's going to please you on the levels, polyamory is starting to make more and more sense, because what woman wants to settle for a lesser man just to have exclusivity to a penis when that's not sustainable? If you want a man that's going to be able to do the things that you need him to do here and across the board, you might have to consider that you might have to share him and just understand that he's equipped and chosen to be able to balance all of that because it's his job. We just live in a world where exclusivity to a penis weighs more than what's important in relationships for sustainability.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you go next, Evolutionary Playboy. So
what's the question?
Why do people agree to be in like open relationships, open marriages, polyamorous? Like, why do people do that? What is it?
I think it can be a number of things. I think one, say on the woman's side, could be reputation. They want to have that marriage title. They may not necessarily have the ability to marry who they want to marry, but they have that title, which can help in, when it comes to business. It can help when it comes to dealing with your parents, because some women, they get married because of the pressure. Families like, I want you to be married, blah 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 blah. And they might meet a guy that they don't really find attractive, but he's able to take care of her, but she really goes out and enjoys herself with the men she would really want to be with. but she can't, won't commit to it. You know what I mean? And as far as the men, like Mr. O said, like some dudes, they just have a larger appetite. Every man doesn't want to have multiple women. Every man doesn't want to cheat. You know what I mean? It just depends on the person. But I think a lot of times it just depends on what's important to you. You know what I'm saying? And comes with confidence because to be like, for example, a man that has, if it's one woman and she has multiple men, it's going to take a lot of self discipline to not be emotionally charged to that woman, knowing that she has other men that she sees. And then
But
for the
I have
woman,
rarely seen where men are open to women having other partners. It's always, in my opinion, men are the ones who will have multiple partners, and the woman is just expected to participate in the lifestyle.
well, the reason you don't hear about that is because most women aren't going to share that with their best friend. Most women will tell you everything that sounds good, but if you went into their home, it might be a different story.
Mm.
She might sit there and tell you what she's not going to take to be part of y'all conversation from a man, but at home, it goes down. You know what I mean? Men are more open and keeping it solid, telling her the whole truth. Women, y'all will be like, girl, I wouldn't let no man do that. And at home, that man is doing those same things to her. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
I mean, I think it's just it's a lot of different reasons. And when it comes to the Steph situation, Mr. O hit it on the head. She's the better looker. She probably got a lot more attention growing up. He was a guy that was an athlete, probably
You
super
talking about
focused.
Ayesha?
Yeah,
Ayesha, he's
yeah,
saying that Ayesha's more better looking, so she might
yes,
have got more attention.
yes. And see, Steph probably didn't trip like that. I see him as an athlete that was serious. You know, his dad was a professional athlete. So he wasn't tripping off the ladies like that. She probably seemed wholesome, you know, so he stuck with her. And as time went on,
Mhm.
he excelled, you know, become a professional athlete. But I think the projection of their relationship didn't go the way she saw it. She seemed to me, she comes off as somebody who needs a lot of attention
Mm.
and someone who wants to be one of the basketball wise type women. You know, she wants all the
Mm.
glamour and all these things. He's just focused. And to be real, I don't know if he's smashing other women or not because what a lot of women fail to realize when you're an athlete, as horny as you are, when you playing all those games, you don't have the energy to be smashing like that. Like when you're a real athlete, you might think about it, but that's time consuming, all that practice. Then he has press and he has his other you know, people that he signed to, the things that the obligations he has, then he has to be a dad, this and that. So it could just be from my point of view, I feel like she wants a different lifestyle. She has the money to have that lifestyle, but she's not with who she desires. You know, and if they've been together since high school or college, whichever one it was, she might be bored of. So Steph probably not caring. This is just my perspective. He's
Okay.
probably like, go do your thing, you know, because it's cheaper to keep her. You got a lot of money, and if a divorce is into talk, I don't think you want to lose that.
All right, LB, let me hear what you got to say. Why do people agree to be in an open relationship? What do you think about this whole Steph and Ayesha thing?
I think that Mr. O and Playboy had like I think along their lines. I think that she wanted that it wants more attention. I think that in marriage, and actually, let me backtrack. We are talking about two high class people versus the average person that gets into a polyamorous relationship. So that's two different. There's two different animals altogether, right? Because the average person like me and other people out there might not be getting a lot, might not be having like a lot of people trying to come at them, you know. But for Ayesha and Steph, they have way more. They have way more options, way more people trying to get at them. So I think that it's quite possible that Ayesha was doing some stuff and Steph was doing some stuff, and it sounds like their stuff is just coming out. It could be like one of them got caught or whatever, and the one that's coming out. I didn't hear the Red Table Talk interview, but I did look them up because
Okay.
I don't follow sports. So, and I saw that one of the articles was talking about how Ayesha, I guess her sister was saying that even in their church days, Ayesha was trying to talk to Steph. Even in church days, like she would go up to him and not only maybe say like 2 words and then like go off, and he had to kind of like piece it together from there. And then from throughout their times of trying to get together, like one was interested and one wasn't, and that's how it goes. Which Steph was the one that was like a little bit more busy. So according to Playboy, that's probably what it was. And so Ayesha was the one was chasing at first, and then she got a little bit more attention as she grew older, it seems like, and she kind of stepped away, and then they just kind of ended up together when they were adults. So it just seems like she just wants attention, and he's probably doing stuff too. I have no doubt in my mind that he's probably doing stuff. I do think that what Playboy says is probably happening, a mixture of that. But if you meet somebody and you're a high class person, I think if you want to get it in, you're gonna get it in. You're gonna find a way. So whether it be like one night or just overnight or whatever. So I don't know.
Interesting, y'all perspectives. Okay, I'm gonna bring my girl on this show because you know what? I need some girl power in here because they are going in on Miss Ayesha Curry. Lord, she is not that bad. I don't even know. Actually,
we're not going in. We're not going in.
Not even going in.
Spade. We're just being
real.
It
just seems like she needs attention.
She might agree with y'all. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like I need somebody to break this conversation up just a little bit because I'm curious what your thoughts are. And I don't know if you know all about what happened with them and how the rumor kind of started. I explained it a little bit in the beginning.
I wanted to ask one question though. Do either of you women know a woman named Savannah James?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know who she is?
LeBron James' wife.
I wanted to know if you know who she is, because the fact that he's the greatest basketball phenom ever created and you don't know who his wife is.
Because she's busy. She has stuff to do.
That's the point. It don't got nothing. And all of this about what people want to say about the excuses they want to give her for acting. The bottom line is it's because men don't want it. We don't want you to be out there, and that's it. If we don't want it, then it don't matter the reason.
Okay, so I don't know.
But he do want it because he's with her and she doing it.
Well, he did. Well, as far as we know, we don't know if they are. We don't know if they're.
We don't even know if. Yeah. We don't even know. But what I'm saying is, we do know that she's a public figure. We do know that she is an entrepreneur. She has her own cookbook. She has this weight loss journey that she talks about. She has all these businesses going on. And she is definitely an entrepreneur. She has created a lane for herself. And he and her are still married. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I would love to hear. Say your name again for the panel because I want everybody to make sure they say your name right. And I would love to hear what you think about this whole entire thing as far as why are people like more open to like poly and all these relationships. What do you think about this whole Ayesha and Steph rumor that has come about?
So I don't know if like they have a reality show coming out or something. Oh, Zidonia. Hi, Zidonia. I'm Zidonia. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
So, I don't know what I missed, but I don't know if they have like a reality show coming out or something. Like, it's because before she was like, respectability Ayesha, respectability politics. Like, don't dress like this, women don't do this, that, and all that other stuff. Then she was, women just like to be, we need attention. We just like to be told we're pretty or whatever, which that's not untrue. She's not wrong about that. What I heard from that was her like saying, Steph, pay attention to me. And so now this new whatever is going on, I don't follow like their personal lives. I follow sports, but not necessarily personal lives of people. But I think people are confusing a poly relationship with an open relationship. Those are different things. And because people don't understand what the definition
Mr. O explained the difference. Okay. He explained the difference, but go ahead. You can
So
reiterate. You can
No.
reiterate.
We don't have enough details to say which one they are, so it's like that's why everybody's
Right.
going with everywhere.
Because
So,
the
like, I
source,
don't even.
the source is anonymous, and it basically said that they have these side hookups and flings, and I don't know if that means separately or together or what. And it was
Or they
just
may
that.
just be kinky in the bedroom. A lot of people have
Very
that.
true.
They're just
Very
famous,
true.
and we hear about it because they're
Mhm.
famous. I feel like if Ayesha hadn't come out with all of the respectability politics from the beginning, people probably wouldn't care as much about what she's doing, because there's a lot of couples that do that, right? Famous couples that do stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just, girl, whatever. Don't nobody care about what you want to say. Y'all boring anyway. Like, so don't nobody care what y'all doing.
Maybe they're trying to spice
That's
it up, like you said. They're trying to spice it up,
right,
man.
but
Yeah,
spice it up.
boring.
That's in their bedroom. Like, unless you're like having an open invitation to a bunch of people, like, get in my DMs and see if we could do this. Like,
Right.
why do we need to know all of this? Like, that's corny to me. Like, I don't know if this is what
They clout
I don't
chasing.
understand. Well, Steph don't need the clout chase, right? Unless
She's
this
an
is like,
attention. It's her. She attention.
True.
absolutely,
That's
That's
she
what
true.
absolutely likes attention.
She hit
I
it
don't know
on
if
the
Okay,
this is
Mr.
gonna
head.
help.
Rucker.
Mhm.
Okay,
This
Mr.
gonna
Rucker.
help
You go
Golden
ahead.
State Warriors with something. Like, I'm not understanding what the point is.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we're talking these kind of relationships.
The Jody is playing. Okay, girl. All right,
I'm
Mr.
just,
Rucker.
I'm just worried about the money. I'm just making sure that if they agree to an open relationship, if it's, rumor has it, that if they decide to change their mind and get a divorce, his money won't be split, because I know she was kind of there to the whole trip, but I want to know not too much, but a little bit, like, who made that decision? Was it Steph or Ayesha? Because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, but I just don't want his money to go away. I just hope there's a prenup.
See, doesn't he have so much money that, like, if he did take it away, if he has doesn't he have so much money that if it does have to go to her, we're talking about he's probably like worth what, millions? And
Yeah,
she has
he's
3
gonna get
babies.
3
No
babies.
one is
That's
going
true.
away broke. She
Yeah.
has 3.
Yeah.
So
3, right? Three of them little
Plus
crumb snatchers with
alimony,
him.
child support.
Right.
right.
It's
Correct.
gonna be bad.
With
Well,
that Will
and she-
Smith and Jada thing, like, they can't he can't really afford to leave because I think she has something on him. Because normally, if a woman did all that stuff, like, you know what, I'm out. If you're doing all this stuff, you even still falling in love with the dead guy, Tupac, I'm out. But of course,
Ooh,
if
no,
you say
y'all not
you're
about to
out,
play Jada. Y'all not about
Yeah.
to play Jada on this.
Okay, so
podcast.
here's the
very
thing.
similar.
I don't
Here's
see
the
why
thing.
not.
Here's the thing.
I don't see why not.
Let me say this. Why are y'all blaming Ayesha?
Nobody's
for-
blaming
No, nobody's
her.
blaming. Yeah,
We're not blaming
nobody's
her.
blaming
We're
I'm
her.
just
blaming
saying we
Okay,
think
so
that
why do
she's the
y'all
one.
think that she initiated this whole open
Correct.
relationship?
Because
Why
it's always the woman's fault.
Can I
why
say
is
something?
it the woman who did that? Please
Can I
explain
say
that.
something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Steph doesn't need to do that. He's a top ranked NBA player.
Yes.
All he has to do is walk outside.
Yeah.
So, which makes all the more sense that he would say, "Hey, let's just do this openly because she gonna leave if I don't."
Right.
Or she
No,
could leave,
but
and
no
if she
man-
leaves, she's leaving with bank.
But no man with a high status wants to be embarrassed like that. They would
Right.
just keep it a secret. They don't want to.
I
He
doubt
doesn't want to
that.
be embarrassed.
I don't
Yeah,
think
they have
she would-
children.
I don't think she wants to keep it. Wants to be embarrassed or have it out there either. I mean, her brand isn't her brand like super conservative. Like
That's what I'm
what
saying.
women
That's
should do.
no
Like
one would
it's
care.
both of their persona and brand. Like
We shouldn't even
that's
know
what I
this.
said before.
So we
I
don't
think
even
they
know if this
both
is
were
real?
doing stuff.
Yeah, we don't
we don't know.
This is an entire rumor.
It's just
And-
my theory.
Who snitched though?
This is a rumor, you guys. And honestly,
That's who snitched.
Yeah, who snitched? Yeah, that's the deal. Yeah.
so,
We
but
have
let me
the
say
data
this.
that's available, and they could have snitched on themselves to, like I said, to hide a bigger scandal.
But
Very
no,
true.
no. Because let me say this: the source just said that it was a NBA couple. But here's my thing: why don't people think it's Iman and Tiana?
See, we got professional publicists that are
No, but
quarterbacking
I
this
really would
whole
like to
thing.
know, why do people not think it's Iman and Tiana? Because they seem like they more have an open relationship.
But they don't matter.
Steph and
They don't.
I
And
know. I'm
Steph
like,
and
who
Ayesha
are they?
do?
Iman and Tiana.
Steph and
Like, who are they?
Steph and
You
They
don't know who
already
that is,
have
but
ties.
No, we
to
know, but they
outside
don't
their
matter
marriage.
like that.
Yeah,
They have
I mean, they
ties.
know about
They
it.
used to. But,
Yeah.
But see, the couples who actually, so like we know about Will and Jada, right?
Okay.
We all know that
We're
they're in
not
an open
supposed to know, but
marriage,
you're
whatever,
right.
whatever. They're partners, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
We know about. So there's rumors about Iman and Tiana. They've been married since 2016. However, there's also rumors about Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, when Steph is a brand, a business, he's so huge. There are professional publicists behind all of this that are
Yeah.
quarterbacking this whole
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
If we
Right.
believe this, it's intentional.
Right.
Correct.
So don't be
You gotta
surprised if
know
they
they
have a
do this
book.
for a living.
Yeah.
I'm
It's a
I'm
brand.
They
always
have a book coming
I'm
out about
always
being poly in
fascinated.
India.
We
Yeah,
already
he's a
know.
brand.
We already know about like Nick Cannons and all people like that. So here's the thing. Because I'm just naming a few people. Nick Cannon, people know about Alicia Keys. It's rumored. I don't know if it's true. She allegedly hooks up with women and brings women into the relationship, into the partnership. And she also has her side relationship with women. Not just that she's kind of bringing them in for threesomes. It's like she has relationships with women outside of Swiss Beats. This is what is rumored, okay?
We can
It's
believe
also,
that though. We can believe
yeah,
that
we believe it.
because of Whitney Houston. We didn't know
Yeah.
that until after she passed away. It's like, well, yeah, she had that thing.
Hey, okay. And then we got Iman and Tiana. Now, people say that Iman is out here in these streets. He moves like a single man. He has women all over, and she's okay with it. From what this is the rumor, y'all.
Yeah.
Call me the rumor deliverer, okay? The gem dropper, okay?
The rumor follower.
The rumor that's what I find. If it's some gossip, I'm gonna find it, I guess. Okay, so here's the thing
is it's all believable though. It's like, yeah,
this is what listen, and I got this from reliable sources. So we'll say that. So do you think that people are intrigued by this because it's in popular culture, right? And it seems that so many people in popular culture are participating in it. A lot of people use them as their examples. So do you think that these types of alternative lifestyles have grown into popularity because of that?
I would have to say yes, because a lot of people are followers. They do it on social media. They're looking for guidance. If they don't know about their lifestyle or anything, all they need is a star that they admire and say, hey, they're doing it, why can't I? And if they haven't like a double life, like, well, I'm going to be a Christian family on this side. The other side, I'm a freak. As long as people sign NDAs, then it's all good. So if they see it as far as like popular culture, then like, why not? They do it with cars, fashion. Why not these relationships? So yeah, I see them.
I think that people have been having polyamorous relationships.
I agree
but
with
it's
that.
just now, it's cool to do
It's
something
more
that people think
acceptable.
is unusual or whatever. And so now everybody is talking about it. And then celebrities come out and they say they've done it. And of course, everybody wants to mimic their life after a celebrity, which is weird because you can't afford the lifestyles and the things that they do.
Exactly.
So it's a whole different set of problems that come with that, right? So if you're not, I said this on the last show, you have to know who you are. You have to be emotionally stable to be in certain kind of relationships, because you trying stuff because you think it's cute, because you saw Tiana and whoever else doing it and you think it's cute, and now you in the corner crying in your drawers because oh my God.
Right, because what, you look up and see somebody smashing your man, and you like, wait a minute. I'm sorry,
you
I changed
don't kiss
my
me
mind.
like that.
I changed my mind.
Oh my God!
now you thought you like that. You thought you was cool with it until he moaning and like what that other woman doing.
Exactly. So yeah, no.
So
so don't do that.
His eyes roll in the back of his head like they do with you. You be like, notice didn't now what?
And he's gonna offer that up again. It's like, hey,
that's one of chicken. I'm busting her down. Like, get your ass off my man right now.
Period.
Right
now.
now.
This is over. We're not doing this. Yeah. So I just think it's popular for people right now.
So
it's like Yeezys. I think that's what it is. I think it's like kids getting a pair of sneakers.
So let me let I don't know if Chris LB or Mr. O, what do you think? Are people doing it because it's like it's what's in, it's like a trend, like, hey, now everybody's wearing the same colors now and doing
when
all
you
this
say
crazy
doing something, you got to be successful at it, and it ain't for everybody. Everybody can't do. Every man can't preside over multiple women.
Yeah,
and every woman or not every woman is not going to be able to get out of her emotion, get out of her. I guess we've been involuntarily programmed in this country. Let's just say this from the beginning. And like I said, when you look at the numbers of suitable suitors that are available, they don't add up to the amount of women that are looking for this type of forever and sustainable relationship. This is starting to make sense. The execution is just poor because there's a bad understanding of how things go. But
Correct.
I don't think that, look, when I see Steph Curry, my spidey senses like they tingle, like because like I align myself with guys that are like me. And if I had a conversation with Steph Curry, it would be kind of like awkward because he's not a guy like me. You know,
Okay, so tell me why you think that.
his money puts him in, gives him accessibility to the type of
Exactly.
women he would never.
Okay.
So
Okay, but let me say this for the record. I actually think Steph is fine. So Ayesha is right. Like I
I
think he's
mean,
fine. I'll be like, I'm confused as to what y'all talking about
there
right now.
are like
Look at Zadonia
nothing.
face.
Like I think
You
first of
want to
all,
say not
Like,
all
yeah.
right because like yeah, like there's gonna be a
he's
select.
sexy. He's in shape. He's
But that's like
tall.
an
He
anecdotal like
Light
situation.
skin.
Like you
He's
are one of
athletic.
few
He
that
gives it.
would pick Steph
He.
Curry off even his own team. You know, you are one of few
Correct.
that would pick him because he isn't like what the world would consider desirable when it comes to stature, charisma. You know, his projection of his voice, man, like just things that certain men that have when they walk into a room, they command a
They
presence
command presence.
without
Yeah.
shooting a jump shot from half court. You just
Y'all
know
don't
who in
think
the
Steph?
room.
No,
Y'all
I
You
don't
would
know
think he
who they.
not.
commands the
Steph.
presence?
Just so
Boss.
to say
Steph
that like
would
he out here
definitely
like
get.
slinging that thing like Wilt Chamberlain. Nah, man,
That's what I'm
he's
saying.
not.
That's
He's
exactly what I'm
not.
saying. No, Steph
I'm
would
sure they
definitely.
lined up to sit on him,
He
but
could be a
nah.
secret hitter, Mr. O. You don't
No.
know. I
Steph
mean, we
would
don't
get
This
my
know. He
Google
could
this
be a
number.
you
secret
have a
hitter.
classic case here of a woman. Like here's an example. My cousin called me yesterday. And he had just got to my aunt's house for the Christmas celebration or whatever. I don't know. I don't buy into that. But he got together with the family. His
Okay.
baby is running a fever. And so his wife stayed home with the baby, but she couldn't resist the fact to let him know that she's staying home and she feels left out and this and that.
Mm.
And like she felt like she's deserving of the celebration when it's really her job to nurture that child in that moment. But she in this country, women feel like they want to compete with the limelight. Well, you get to go, so I should go. But we don't have the same role. And she
Fact.
is like fighting for the limelight over her husband, who clearly has a gift, who is putting her life so that gift he can put gasoline on his gift and she can nurture his life and raise his kids. But she wants the limelight. She's getting jealous of her own husband.
Yep.
She's finding jealousy in her home. And this is weird because in other countries, women don't even think like that. They don't mind
Maybe he
taking.
wants them both to win. Maybe they are both supportive of each other.
She's already winning though,
I
just by
mean,
being
he's
married to him.
he's
That's
he's
it.
Everybody
winning
don't consider
already.
being married with 3 kids a win.
what
A
woman would?
millionaire. Do what you want. You get access to opportunities that normal women don't have access to.
This is the
Right? Let's just
classic
be
Okay.
case.
real.
It's
Let's
the
be
That's
real.
classic
true.
case of,
That's
of
true.
women fighting to say like when you hear women say, "I love my job," like I don't think no woman want to work. I don't think none of them. I think they appreciate the fact that they can go get money and it gives them something to do. But I don't think no woman wants to work. If you could have her lifestyle, what woman wouldn't want to have a man worth $1 gajillion and she can like do arts and crafts all day? Like,
Why do you think that women want to when they're married
yeah.
to these rich and famous men? Why do you think that some women still want to have income coming in and contribute? Why do
She
you think
wants to
that?
find her place in this world, and we're all on our own unique journeys to do that.
Yep.
She is yet to embrace why she's here because she's trying to compete with her husband.
Okay.
And she's a fine.
Hey,
Wives really find
you
their
see that
purpose
comment?
when they
You
get
see that
married, right?
comment?
They say women really find their purpose in life once they find their husband and they roll within that marriage. Then they find their purpose of why they're here. And I challenge that when I ask people to go ask your parents, go ask your father, and go ask your mother. Ask them the same question.
Yeah.
Mom, what was your purpose in life? And mom's gonna always say, baby, you were my purpose in life. And when you go ask your dad, he gonna say, look around. All this I provided. Now you may interpret that as him not loving you as much as mom do, but he knows that you couldn't be who you are today if he didn't do what he needed to do to provide that opportunity for you to even flourish like that.
Right.
He knew that he had to feed you and clothe you and protect you in order for him to have purpose. You find a man that loses his way of income and he's buried in a room somewhere. He don't know how to function without being able to provide and protect something.
But Mr. O, it's easy to talk about like how things should be, how we all think things should be. But
Right.
the realist in me is saying this is not what's happening. Right? She could have had a father that failed her, who failed her, and she can't even look at another man as like a provider or anything like that, even though he does provide.
And you're right.
Yeah.
We're guilty of like trying to always push the narrative of what things should be, but in reality, things are what they are. Things are
Exactly.
happening, and a
And
lot of
things
things
are
are just,
exactly what they are. And
and a
in
lot
her
of things
marriage,
are out of order here because we're not getting the outcomes ultimately that we want. This is a lot of embarrassment on that family this calendar year from his
Yeah.
parents and now him. This
Oh
is a lot of
Jesus.
stress.
I would challenge that. I think things are changing. I don't think people are going to care necessarily as much about their polyamorous relationship. I think what's going to hurt him is that because it's opposite of his brand, of his prior brand of
Yep.
And you got to
conservatism.
go like
So he
Under Armour
lost
is
a lot of crowd.
watching this
Yeah.
with a microscope.
Yeah.
They will pull their money so fast
Yeah.
when it's something that don't align with their brand.
Yeah.
Under Armour will be gone, and he is big over there. He the only one selling shoes over there.
Right.
what you know what? This is gonna bring me to my next point. Who is benefiting more in open relationships, open marriages, polyamorous? Who benefits more in this, the woman or the man?
This is
And
what I want.
you can talk about Ayesha and Steph, and somebody got to turn off their YouTube, or you got to turn it down.
I don't want people to fall in love with the glamour of what they think that lifestyle is, because real in actuality, polyamory relationships, they don't exist unless it's a need for that other person. They're not doing it for based on sex.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to ask you too, because I think earlier somebody made a comment about it being just because people are, it's popular. What is the risk of kind of getting into this kind of lifestyle just because it's like a trend or it's popular?
The risk could be that you lose, you find yourself questioning your value to that person. The risk could be like jealousy. The risk
Lose
could
trust.
be right. All of these things that are like when
Reputation.
communication,
Yeah.
when there's that open relationship, that is an example of a breaking the link of communication. With polyamory, it's all on the table. Everything the jealousy is managed by the openness and understanding that there's a need for that third person or fourth person in our life. It's not just because I want more sex. It's because you're good at the homeschooling and you're good at the 501c. So I need both. When we're talking about building something, the man has to already have a plan and a purpose in his life for it to even have to bring in other women to feed into that. This isn't about an orgy. It just sounds like that. And that's why I say this being tied to their relationship could be trying to cover up a bigger scandal of somebody cheating, and they're trying to align themselves with some type of structure, because she's fighting for attention clearly. And he is not the type of guy with charisma to be go out here slanging his stuff all across the West Coast. The dynamics don't match up. I have a gift of discernment that can see beyond that. I don't see him as a peer to me,
So
when it
people
comes
need
to the
to make
level of polyamory.
So people need to make decisions based on what's currently happening in their household and not based on popular culture and what's going on in other people's bedroom, is what you pretty much telling them, because it could be
don't want it to be
ramifications.
glorified as something that everybody should be trying
Right.
if there's no need for it and you don't have what it takes to preside over it.
Right. I agree. So who else want to go next? Who benefits more, women or men?
I think it's the woman. I think it's the
No,
woman.
men
I think there's a
benefit from-
lot more. I think it's a lot more people.
Okay,
I think
so
there's a
go ahead.
lot more people. I think there's a lot more. I mean, let me backtrack. What do you mean by benefit? What do you mean by benefit? who's
Because if you're
successful,
being
who's
honest,
getting
every
some, who's
single
not.
person in a polyamory relationship will benefit more.
Okay.
Because
If the dude is out there, if the dude is out there and getting any,
I'm not talking about sex. I'm
a.
just talking about numbers. I got 3 incomes now. I got 4 incomes now.
Okay.
Under
But
one
you're talking
roof,
about
and I'm
polygamous.
paying
We're talking
one
about
rent.
poly, right?
Huh?
Aren't you talking about poly? Are we talking about poly?
You
Or are we
can
talking
talk about
polygamy?
I'm
poly.
saying in the polyamorous relationship, the benefits are the things around the relationship. It's more incomes in one household.
But
It's
that's
more
even if you
input. It's
guys. That's
more access. It gives me more access to my time
so,
by
Mr. O.
delegating things.
You're saying that if it's the you saying that a polyamory relationship, and let me know if I'm wrong, is sharing money between the couples.
Yeah,
They could.
the sex is just that's a byproduct. This is something in lieu of we having this relationship, because like I said, polyamory, they take all of the sexual exclusivity out of the thinking of why they together. They remove that. By definition, they
Facts.
remove the exclusivity to sex being the basis of sustainability for the relationship. That's the definition of polyamory. It ain't about the sex, and this is what I tell people: when you get in the deal that you want out of life, you get this person that, like, she's homeschooling the kids in math and science, and she's homeschooling them in this, and she's working on the garden, and she's got the 501c. Like, this is a business.
Yeah,
And
but
as a result of getting all the things done, we're gonna
you're
have
you know
good
you
sex.
Mr. O, you're looking at potential, like potential. Like this is how polyamory could be
No, that's how it
if we're
is.
doing it
That's
that
the
way.
definition of polyamory.
But that's not what people are
And
practicing
that's
in these
what when
streets.
she
But
came up,
that's
she says people were confusing polyamory with just open orgies and open relationships. There's a difference. The definition of open relationship is two
It's
primaries.
based on, but open
Two
relationships are
primaries
based on
giving
sexual
permission
things.
to go outside
Right.
but let's not
Go
pretend
ahead.
that
for
we
sex.
let's
For
not
sex.
pretend that like we can like if you're saying that yes, there are some people that are doing those kind of parameters in a polyamorous relationship, then yes, it could be beneficial in that way that you're describing. But we all know that there are plenty of people out there claiming that they're in a poly relationship and they're not sharing money within the other couples because that's their
That's not a
boundaries.
poly relationship.
Yeah,
That's not.
like
I
I could
mean,
claim that I'm a
yeah.
cardinal, and I'm not. You could say what you want, but we have definitions for words for a
I
reason.
agree. Yeah, I agree. But this is not the
Polyamorous
world we live in.
relationships,
This is not
though.
the world we live in. We can say, yeah, you're not in a poly relationship, but that's not going
There's a
to
lot
mean
of
anything to
dudes out
them
here
that are
saying
in it.
that
Yeah.
they players and they have
Yeah.
game to
And that's not
sell,
going to mean anything to
and they
them
don't
that's are in it. Yeah. I mean, like, that's not going to mean anything to those that are in it.
It don't
That's,
it
I'm
So,
don't
not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that, like, those people that are in the quote unquote poly relationship, like, they're not sharing their incomes, but they
Yeah,
are
they
doing
getting
other things
sold
to help
wooden
out each
nickels,
other.
man. My mama
Yeah.
always told me, don't accept no wooden nickels.
Yeah.
And that's what they doing. They out here is accepting a fraud, a facade of what they trying to glorify. But you know nothing about it. And it ain't for everybody. I
Yeah.
think they
Right.
just
Some
trying
people
to
don't even know.
the,
They just
the,
got you living that
right.
life.
Yep.
When you find a
Yeah.
label to place on something, it'll remove a little bit of shame for you.
Well,
Yeah.
let me say why I asked who benefits more, because a lot of people were kind of saying that the woman benefits more. And this particular scenario with Ayesha and Stephen, for instance, like if that was the case and there was like an open marriage, right, that she was benefiting more, and that men are so desperate nowadays to just hold on to relationships and they're agreeing to allow women this freedom and flexibility. And it has not been reported that or speculated that Steph is a cheater. However, with his lifestyle, a lot of people assume that he has opportunities to dip off and, whatever, right? He's off on the road. So when I ask those questions, I'm giving a little bit more context. Why do you think, who do you think benefits more? And you can relate it to this open marriage thing, or you can relate it to, like Mr. O talking about polygamy and polyamory and things like that.
so for me, I agree with some of the things that Mr. O said. Polyamory is not based on I want to have sex with more than one person. Like, it's a committed relationship between a particular group of individuals, where it's 3 or 4, but they're not like we're together and now we going out and we doing this. No, we're together. They're a relationship together. In a open relationship, you just doing your thing, busting it open, whatever you want to, with whoever you want to, just doing what you want to do. That's not that's not a polyamorous relationship. As far as Steph Curry is concerned, like I think one of the men mentioned, he doesn't necessarily have to call something an open or have an open relationship because he's Steph Curry. Um, Not because he fine. I don't think he fine, sis. I'm sorry. Steph would get my Google number if he wasn't Steph Curry. Just
What?
being honest.
Really?
But
Oh
he's
my
not fine to
goodness.
me. I mean, hey, more power to who like him, but he's not fine to me. But I'm just saying because he's an NBA player, not just an NBA player, but a superstar, women will drop it like it's hot if he breathes in their direction, right?
Right.
So he doesn't necessarily have to have like the open relationship. In this case, it probably would benefit Ayesha more because if she's supposed to be monogamous and all this other stuff, but your husband is a gajillionaire, as somebody said. And I mean, yes, she has her own lane, she's doing her own thing, but she's not making Steph Curry money. You would be stupid to mess that up if that's what you're there for, right?
Don't mess up
So
the
an open
bag.
relationship would benefit her. But
But
in most cases,
but
I'm
what if
saying that
he
to say,
go ahead? But what if he could just now he can move freely because now it's an
I mean, if we
agreement.
being honest, he can move freely if he picking the right. If he's picked, I'm just speaking from what I know from the professional athletes that are my friends, right? If they picking the right one, they could do what they want to do. You know what I mean, or what? But I mean, if it's like move freely and you could be out at dinner with this chick and nobody's gonna say anything, I mean, I guess if that's what he wants to do, but he doesn't really need that because he's a superstar, right?
Okay.
So he can get it when he wants to from whoever if he chooses somebody and she with it, she can get it. Also, that being said, most relationships, monogamous, whether it's marriage or polyamorous, they benefit men. Men get more out of it than that's just those. I mean, that's statistics when you look at in marriage and monogamous relationships, men benefit from that.
Okay.
That's just what it is. But in this situation with those two, I mean,
Tell me why
Aisha
you
will
So
be
think.
a princess.
Tell me why you think men benefit more before
Well,
everybody
if
responds.
we're basing it on traditional roles, Western culture, how that is, men are going work and all that other stuff. If we're basing on patriarchy and things like that, but then women are supposed to cook, clean, raise a family, have a safe space, all these other things, and women and men have to just make sure bills are paid, right? Women have to be all of these things
Oh,
because
she
this is what
said it
she's
like
supposed
that.
to do.
Just makes not just makes sure bills is paid. You said
That's
like
easy because we do it.
I
just
But
have
make sure bills
Just
is paid.
but that's what it
whoa.
is. They get to say, oh,
We
you get
do
to
it.
say, oh yeah, I provide for the household, so I'm gonna come home and play PS5 or whatever it is
You're not
they
giving
want to
enough
do,
credit, and I've
right?
never played a video game in my life. If somebody
I'm
kicked
not
that
talking
door
about
in,
you.
if somebody
but it
kicks
doesn't
that
matter if he
door
comes
in,
home and it
I
doesn't
have
matter
another
if he comes
The
home and
responsibility,
plays a
right?
the
video
long and the
game.
short
I
of it, if
mean,
you're this country is
Wait, y'all.
based on
Yeah.
patriarchal
Provide and
standards
protect.
that
Protection is a
benefits
big one.
men.
Right.
Just include
It does.
protection. I want you to just include
But,
Okay,
protect.
but,
protection,
There you
but
go.
provide and
who?
protect.
But
Z, I
who
have a
do?
question. I'm sorry,
But who
Taylor.
do? Go ahead. Go ahead, LB. You have a question. Go ahead.
Are you saying that men benefit from a monogamous relationship and not from a poly relationship, or are you saying men benefit in
Both.
both of those?
In both of those.
Both. Okay.
Both of those.
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know. I
necessarily
don't know
agree
many
with the.
men.
I
I
don't
don't
agree with
know
the
many
poly thing.
men
But
that can be the other man in a relationship. I'm just being honest. Like I'm sure it's happening, but most relationships, most of the polyamorous relationships of people that I know, there's a man and there's a couple of women,
Okay.
right? There's like even with when people talk about sexual things and they say threesomes, dudes is down for two women, but if she has to bring a man in there, oh
And
my
and
God,
but
then
would
it's a
and
that
this
be?
is why
problem.
and this is
But
why I
would
was
that be the
saying
men?
polyam.
That's a
So this is
train.
why I say in
No, I'm just
polyamory,
saying in most
In
situations in
most
this country, it,
situations,
it benefits
right.
men.
right? The
Right.
It
reason
does.
But
why
but
the other one palandry is
Hmm.
less, you'll find that less is
Right.
because there's a lesser of a need for it. Polygyny, there's more of a need for that when you look at the numbers of suitable suitors available to the women based on the ratio in the population. So it's a need for it, which is why it's sustainable and makes sense. And that's the only reason, like there's an informed consent in all parties involved
Right.
before another person is included into that unit, and
Mhm.
it has to make sense on all sides. So when there's a need for that other role in that household, and we've taken the jealousy out of it and managed that properly, now this is functional because and sustainable because there's a need for it.
Okay.
There isn't a need in this world that exists today where one woman needs multiple men because
I would challenge
there,
I would
there
challenge
aren't
that.
enough
I would
numbers.
challenge that,
Women
Mr.
don't. No
O.
one wants to die
And
alone, but there aren't enough men available for one woman to have five apiece.
Let them
Okay,
find out
LB,
the hard
That's a
way.
shame.
let me let
It's just
LB
not. There's more wombs on the planet than there is sperm.
let me let LB respond because now we got to share this one old raggedy, men, and we got to share. Five of us got to share this one old raggedy man. Okay, but that's all right. We're gonna talk about that. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
y'all don't
and
even really want it like
and
that, do y'all?
the men, but this is the thing though.
Listen, y'all
Men
Women
saying
as
want to
that
they
have
out loud.
sex
age,
as much as men. Do y'all
men
really want to have
men
sex
as
just as
they
much?
age. I mean,
Women, let me tell you something.
things
Women
happen
hit
with men
40,
as they
it
age.
goes different. It's
Yours,
different. I think it's in
women's
reverse.
sexual peak is biologically it's recorded
Listen,
at 34, right?
was
It's about the age of 34 is when it kicks in heavy.
right.
And that lasts till about menopause, which is right around the corner from that. So it ain't no
You
there
know,
ain't
right
really,
around no corner. You talk about
yeah,
Yes,
don't
it
be
is.
talking
it's
that
It's
with the
crazy
always
stuff.
diet the way
outside.
it is out here, yeah,
It
it's
is.
approaching fast.
Oh
I,
Yeah,
Lord.
so there's no
listen,
like
so
long
we
time
all got to
span
share the
when
same
women
old.
just want it like that every day. In my lifestyle, and I'm because it's so honest. There's a lot of women she be glad when you go to the other girl because
Please get a girlfriend.
she's not in the mood tonight. She's not in the mood tonight.
Huh.
but like,
Okay,
And
don't you think?
let me let LB challenge you. Then I'm gonna let Mr. Rucker go.
Don't you think we're all just making these like when we talk about poly? Like I'm sure it's Ms. Z. It's based on your conversations with your friends or whoever you're talking to, and I'm just basing what I'm thinking based on the conversations of who I'm talking to that's in that space. And Mr. O is talking from knowledge and wherever stuff he knows and the people he knows. So don't you guys think that we're just talking about in certain situations where there are polyamorous couples that do have threesomes with the dude versus other couples who do not have threesomes with the dude, that they just want to have in their sexual relationships with women or another man because that other man has something that the other dude hasn't or whatever. You don't think that's happening?
I
Because
mean,
I know
I think people make the rules
I've
for their
seen that,
relationship.
huh?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
You
people
said
make
you
the rules
seen
for
it.
their relationship.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've talked to people that they don't, that the man, their man they're with, they love him, but he isn't what this other guy is. So it's not to them. They said it's not necessarily a one over the other. It's that with this lifestyle, I can have both. I can have both and be involved with and grow and learn from both.
Okay.
when it's
Okay.
based on sex, it's not sustainable.
Right.
But
These
I'm
are
not
just
telling you
like,
it's based on sex. I'm not saying it's based on sex.
well,
And
what is it?
the definition may be different from what you have some. So I want you to tell me, Mr. O, the definition of where you're coming with your information. But for
Right,
polyamory, it's like the practice of engaging in multiple romantic and typical sexual relationships with the
right. It
consent of
doesn't.
people involved. So it's not necessarily about money or one individual. It's a list of things. So I can see
Right.
from your perspective it being a list,
If
but
you keep
sex,
reading that
but like
definition
it's
though,
yeah.
it also in that so it doesn't have to be one man or one, it's multiple partners. But I also said that there's a informed intent behind them coming together, and they
Yeah,
all have to
consent. Yeah.
collectively, which
Mm-hmm.
means which it isn't based on sex, it's based on the need of the unit.
Right.
It could
Well,
be
I think it's the need of
emotional.
the individual.
Right.
Now, I mean, you want to call it the unit, but yeah, I mean, I think it's the base. I mean, I mean, that's semantics. Unit, individual, that's all semantics. But it's based on them. It's based on them. And what I'm saying is just that I think that we're looking at it in the sexual perspective when there's also mental things that are
There's
going on there,
emotional.
like where the husband isn't maybe not be providing at that time for whatever reason. It could be he going through something himself. We're also not thinking about people that go through cancer. Like her husband could be dying of cancer and he can't even do anything, but he's still around and he's still trying to survive. And the woman still has to get it in, and the husband like consents because he loves her.
Like
That's true.
typically
That was
polyamorous
some good
people
points.
already have identified what they want in a partner.
I,
It's not really a thing where they're still trying to find themselves or they're still on their journey. They clearly know exactly what they need in return for the deal that they're trying to get out of life to go
Right.
on with. They've already identified that, and that's
So
why
it's like an agreement or understanding within that
with all
community
parties, correct.
between
right.
Yeah.
the
That
parties
needs to be
of
put in writing
what's
too. Now
acceptable and what's not acceptable. So,
Not in writing.
We wish you would
needs
put
to
in
be
writing,
put in
but it's
writing.
never put in writing.
No, it
It's
should
never.
be.
I don't think
Prenup.
it's ever put in
Mr.
writing.
Yes,
Rucker,
it is.
Mr. Rucker, do you have anything to say, or Chris? I wanted to give y'all an opportunity to kind of comment on who benefits more. I don't know if you had anything to add to it.
I
It comes
mean,
down to
it
this.
depends. I don't
Oh,
know. It depends on the situation to me. So I can't say who benefits more.
okay.
Depends.
Mr. Rucker, what you say?
It comes down to this. Typically, men make the money in the relationships. This is why I don't like to use the term partnership. It's really just a employer-employee relationship.
You
Employees, the
talking about
wife.
between the man and the woman, or between the relationship? It's the
You know what he
employee
means,
employee.
Tawana.
Yes,
You
it is.
know.
It comes down to
You know where
leadership.
this is going.
It comes down to leadership.
LB,
Like
he gotta help me out. I gotta reinforce
You know
it.
right.
where this is
Okay.
going.
It comes down to leadership. The man is the leader of the family. He makes a mission statement like when like what companies do. This is what we're going to do. Do you agree? And the woman would say yes or no. Now, if she says yes during the marriage and she changes her mind, then you're messing up the brand, not just his, but the family. A lot of women don't think like that. They think about their own individual feelings. But he's coming out and saying, hey, we can't do this. Like, you can't say that because you're messing up the image. But her feelings are going to take over. So that's why men need to lead in the family and make sure the brand of the family is intact. So if it's this open relationship that they have, supposedly, hopefully there's an NDA that was signed by some of those people that they do, supposedly, then it's not messing up the brand. But if the wife is getting emotional, going on the red table talk, doing these other things, no one's benefiting anything. The man is going to lose because he can't control anything. He's losing control. He's looking out here like he's a simp, even though he may have said to her, this is what you're doing to us. It's messing us up. She doesn't care. So men need to take control. And honestly, men need to benefit more from this type of open relationship. If they don't, then it's the woman and it could change. Women are more emotional. They change their minds. So it's up in the air what the woman does it. But if a man does it, it's most likely going to stick to what he wants. That's
like,
all.
and the thing
So,
is
for
like
everybody, an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement,
right.
right? Okay.
No
Just
snitching.
for everybody who don't know.
No snitching.
The poly, like I broke down the definition, the word, its origin, Greek poly meaning many, and amor meaning love, the Latin word. Polyamory just means many loves. But as the world has turned, like we've had different branches and how you said polyander this is like
Polyandry. Yeah.
that's like one of the newer ones, you know.
Yeah.
Things are getting created as as society grows, right? But that one, I would never subscribe to that because it doesn't make sense. When a woman goes in her purse, she no longer sees a husband, she sees a boy. And there lies the respect. It goes out of the door. And when you start seeing a man that you are providing for, these house husbands that exist, they no longer hold the respect that they should in a relationship for it to even like, man, there's no good outcomes with
Facts.
that.
I
There's no
agree.
good outcomes with
I
Yes.
that.
agree.
I agree with you,
Okay,
but not with the
so
example. But I agree with you, though. I do agree.
okay,
Right.
Not the example,
so
but I agree with you. Respect for the man
let's
is
move to the
paramount.
next point. Let me move to my next point then. So, are people kind of adhering to no longer adhering to like morality and traditional values, and they're just kind of doing what they think or feel good in the moment? Do you all think that this whole opening up your marriage, inviting somebody in, and all these things that people are trying to participate in, do you think they're doing it informatively, like Mr. O? He's informative. He knows what the lifestyle is. He understands it. He understands how it's supposed to work, and he has this village and community. But I feel like that's not how everybody's doing this thing, right?
I think
So tell me what you all think about like this idea of morality and traditional values and things like that.
so. Again,
See
monogamy
again.
is a is a westernized culture thing, right? Because overseas, in other countries, having more than one wife and stuff like that is normal, right? That's not, oh my God, he's dating multiple women or anything like that. I think the major thing happening right now in a multitude of different areas are people are going with what the current hashtag is on Twitter or something, right? They're not researching to see what works for them. Um, and if they don't understand what it is, then oh my God, that's awful. When maybe that's what maybe you I don't want to be with one person. Maybe, polyamory works for me, or maybe I just want to do what I want to do and not have a relationship at all, right? And I don't think people are informed. I don't think they're going into these situations informed. They're going into these situations after reading People Magazine or Gossip or whatever websites they go to read stuff. They're getting counseling from Facebook armchair counselors and all this stuff. Like they don't know what they're doing. And so they throwing traditional stuff out of the way, which, hey, if traditional relationships work for you, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine. But whatever it is, you need to go into the relationship informed. I wouldn't just jump into a marriage with a man that I don't know. I know they're doing that now on reality TV. Good for them, whatever. But for me, I wouldn't do that, right? So I wouldn't just be like, you know what? I'm enjoying myself with him legally, and this is what I'm not doing that. So I feel like people should do that before they just decide, you know what, this is the relationship. This is what I'm gonna
Exactly.
try.
That comment right there.
Yeah.
That some people are born non-monogamous. People
Correct.
are born non-monogamous. You just live in this country
And
where
that's where it's normal.
you're involuntarily
Socialized.
programmed to
Mm-hmm.
subscribe to monogamy. And
Mm-hmm.
you think that this is what I need to subscribe for, and then you find yourself in a situation where you're not happy.
Unhappy. Because we're socialized to think that that's what you're supposed to do.
Just please, people, embrace your journey through this life. We're not all meant to
Please.
experience this planet the same way. We don't feel it the same way. We don't see it the same way. We don't smell it the same way. This is a journey. This isn't an event. This is a
Correct.
journey.
Yeah, because I'm too
Just
conformed. I need my
embrace it.
man to myself. I'm too conformed.
And
Outside
that's
of your
okay, sis.
I
Oh,
am
but that's
okay with
okay.
being conformed. I have been
And
influenced by popular culture. Lord have mercy.
but that's okay if that's what works for you. I think people
Yeah,
need to do what works for them,
yeah,
but
they
be
have to.
informed
Yeah.
about whatever you're going into and see if it works for you. Don't be unhappy because that's what society tells you you're supposed to
Well,
do.
what, Mr. O, or maybe somebody can expand on why is this supposedly tied to morality? Why do people feel the need to kind of morality shame people who have these alternative lifestyles? And I say that loosely because I don't want to offend anyone. But
we live a
people are quick to say like, well, this is a morality thing, right? You need to just be with one person and commit to one person. It's being selfish. What do you think about that, Mr. O?
because we live in this egotistical society as well. Everybody's ego is involved. That's mine.
Mhm.
That belongs to me, and this is
Yeah, take
mine. And
ownership of people.
nobody wants to be embarrassed either. So many people are lying. Like if you're honest with a woman, man, you're more likely to get the deal that you want out of her by letting her choose.
That's
But
right.
when she feels swindled into a situation and conned, and she feels embarrassed, like it's over. And then she reverts back to what society tells you. When people don't know what they want, they just mimic what they see.
Man, I got to piggyback off Mr. O
That's a
and
word right
Sidonia.
there.
Got to piggyback.
Go ahead, Playboy.
Western society is it is probably the youngest society in the world. And like me and Mr. O can agree, when people see you as a peer, it's very it's just like you can't deny it. So if you look at the rest of the world doesn't see the Western society as a peer. Now, if you look back at history, monogamy was not ever mentioned until we got over here, right? So when people have been indoctrined for hundreds of years, they believe the only thing that they've been taught because people are too lazy to do their own research and people are very lazy when it comes to thinking for themselves. So even if people feel like this doesn't feel right, it doesn't sit right, they're too lazy to even explore that part of themselves. They're just going to do what everybody else does because it's easier. So monogamy, I believe some people are cool with it, and that's totally fine. But the world's population shows already there's many more women than men. So if every woman, say, for example, was put here to have a child, how could that be possible if the women outnumber the men? It wouldn't be possible. There's far less men. I think in the United States, it's 2 million less men than women, something like that. So I think it's just like something that is not natural that we made natural. And again, everybody's appetite is different. But like Mr. O says, like if you just keep it real and you give people the opportunity to make a choice, shit just falls into place.
Yeah.
Most women don't have a problem with shit that is discussed in the media, but they become embarrassed because they didn't have the choice to choose to be a part of that situation. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? So even using my life as an example, I've been a player all my life, and it's just like it's not even a fact of fucking. It's a mindset that I have. It's certain shit that I just don't do. There's certain lines I don't cross. I'll never speak down on a man and make me look better. I don't have to lie to get sex because my own ego is too big to take something that I didn't earn. You know what I'm saying? How can I sit there and lie to get some ass knowing that I had to be shiesty to get it? So, so the bottom line is when you're a real man, when you're a solid leader,
Yeah.
a woman is going to choose to follow you. When you
Right.
have to trick a woman to be a part of your program, it's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Do what
I
you
think
feel, not what others do.
I think that you got to be a certain type of woman. I can just see me now running all your other women away. They would be like, that damn crazy ass wanna like get her away. I don't want to have nothing to do with your second wife or whatever
Juana,
wife.
you already said you're a man. You said he better not. You said he better not. He cannot. He cannot. And he better
But
not.
I think
I
it's
don't,
important.
I'm just
I
not
think what
interested. I
The
think I
woman
think
is in
I
danger.
think I just I think I see her kiss my man and just
Just
wild out or
pounce.
something. Like it'll just be a problem. So
But if you agreed
I
with
would
me in the
love.
beginning, it shouldn't be a problem.
Well,
That's like
I think that's the most
I need to
important.
be I need to be in those other cultures that are raised in that culture because right now my mind is already conditioned.
right.
Right.
I already swallowed the pill. So this is what I
And
want.
it's funny how you tend to
You could throw it back up though.
compartmentalize things that you even have examples because you grew up in church and then you hear about King David and even how Queen Sheba like went over there and became a part. And then even as up as earlier to Elijah Muhammad, how he every powerful man that ever existed had multiple families. And if you want to know the numbers of how this earth got populated with the billions of people, it was a select few of guys doing that. If I call 5 of my homeboys over here right now, I got one homeboy that's gonna have 16 kids, the others ain't gonna have none, and I got 2. There ain't every man ain't out here putting babies in all these women. There are a select few of genetically powerful men and gifted men with certain types of features that are breeding and covering this planet. All men ain't meant to procreate. But the numbers suggested. That's why I say there's a select few of suitable suitors that are even available to sustain you for a lifetime.
Right.
So either you're gonna choose, I want exclusivity to penis and a mediocre man, or you want the answer to everything, and you're gonna have to share that as long as you're
With
getting
other
what you
women
need.
though, right?
Yeah. So like
Okay.
when you focus on
No,
giving
no,
the
thank you.
person what she wants, that person is, believe it or not, if I am focused on Warner and I know what Warner needs before she know what she needs, she is not worried about when I've satisfied what her needs are, not just sexually, what I'm doing over here. She appreciates what I'm doing over here because she knows the type of man that I am. And that's how those relationships work. They manage the jealousy. They take the ego out of it and they focus on the need of, when I say unit, I mean the
the
family.
community, the village,
Yeah.
the right. You
I
guys,
agree with Mr. O. I
yeah.
agree with Mr. O. I think it's all ego. Like to answer your question, Wanda, I think it's all ego on the
Oh yeah.
macro and the micro level.
I definitely think I have an ego. You're right.
But then you go to a place like Lebanon, and those women will be like, I wish he get another wife so I can focus on what I'm good at.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like shit. I like scrubbing the toilets, but I hate cooking. I wish he would get another one in here so I could alleviate some of my responsibility. And that's because a lot of these other countries know that their duty is the man belongs to the community that he presides over, his job, the workers that work for him, the network of peers, when he could pick up a phone and get things done. He
Yeah.
belongs to the kids, but she belongs to him. And that's what's taught at birth in these
Well,
other countries.
well, a lot of people don't know that, like Asian culture, they have the highest, most successful marriage rates, right? Like even in American society, they do. And a lot of it is because they don't have westernized thinking of marriage. They look at marriage as a duty, right? Of duty. It's like, and we in American culture, we always want to be happy, and he makes me happy, and I love him so much. He makes me happy. But that's not what marriage is about. Marriage is a duty, right?
Yeah,
And when you
right.
know your roles, and when
Yes.
you are fulfilling your roles in a marriage, for instance, if I know that my husband is happy, I wash his clothes, I clean the house. Like he loves when I clean the house and when it's really clean. He likes that. So if
Yes.
I do that for him, that makes me happy because that's a duty that comes from me being his wife or his expectation of me. And a
Yes.
lot of times, women, we want to be happy even when we're not pouring into our marriage or fulfilling our duties as a wife, right? We just want to be happy. And so I think that what happens is a lot of people are disappointed with marriage because they go into the marriage like, oh, he make me so happy, and this is all it's gonna be about. When that wears off, then y'all like, what a sister wife? I need one, right? It's like at that point, you got so much stuff to do. You have duties, and as a woman, you have to be able to handle all those duties. If your man wants four
Yes.
kids, can you handle four kids without a sister wife? Because it's hard with three.
And then
I'm
when
like,
you
I'm getting y'all convinced me to, maybe
right,
consider a sister wife, but she can't sleep with him. She just gonna be there to
but
help
then
me.
you
Oh,
you also then you
That's
also
it. She
go
just gonna be my
I don't
sister
think she's
wife.
gonna stay, Wanda.
That
She's
Yeah,
sounds
not
she
like a
gonna
can't.
stay.
maid.
look.
That's
You
a
also
maid.
She ain't gonna
Just
speak.
hire a
Hey,
maid.
she can't
Yeah.
sleep. She can't sleep with my man. She could be there. We can marry her into the family.
oh.
But then
but
she just gonna help me with the kids. That's it.
That's a
the
nanny,
thing
sis.
also
That's a
Yeah.
nanny, sis.
No, but I
in
don't
this
want to pay her.
country we
I don't
got.
want.
But also here we give the women a blanket to get out of these situations by no fault divorce. Have you ever
Prenup.
seen have you ever seen a Muslim try to get divorced? Do you know what that entails? For a
Nah.
Muslim, they got to go to the council, to the church, and present all kind of evidence on why. And even still they might not do it.
Right,
Good.
It
right.
take a whole lot to separate in these
So
other countries because it's about duty.
right.
Over there,
So
like your life just starts when you get married and the work
right.
begins. But
Doesn't
Mhm.
over
that happen
here,
in this country too?
So
it's
The
why do
based
Muslim?
on
women?
I got the
Yep.
ring, I could take off after the party, then I don't got to do nothing. He gonna set me for who I am, and I could just relax, coast through life. But
Get
that's when
fat.
life is supposed to start and the work is supposed to begin. And
Yes.
that's
Hey,
why
So
Can I say this
so can I
too?
say? Can I before you guys say that? I do want to lead into this question of why do we think that relationships are about happiness, and if you are unhappy, because I guess people hint to the fact that Aisha's unhappy because she wants these other, attention from men, which I think is total BS. I will say this: I don't believe that Aisha and Steph are in any kind of alternative lifestyle because they are too traditional, in my opinion. They both come from the church. They both like. I don't see her being comfortable with him sleeping with other women. She's talked about her insecurities a lot in just open conversations. And I believe that she has a lot of insecurities that she would not be open to this type of lifestyle. To me, a woman cannot be insecure and be in a polyamorous or an open marriage. Like it just doesn't work, in my opinion. And so she just has too many signs to me that indicate to me that that's not even what their lifestyle. I believe Will and Jada. I even believe Alicia and Sweet Beats. You know, I believe that could possibly be. But Stephen Curry, no, I don't see that. I don't see him being okay with Ayesha having a whole man when he gone on the road. I don't. I believe he believes she's being faithful. So why do we think that relationships are about happiness? And if you are unhappy, why do people think that alternative lifestyles will solve the unhappy thing? Like, oh, I'm unhappy, so now let's just invite this other woman into the relationship and that's gonna make us happy. But before we answer that, y'all can think about it. Let me let Playboy finish his thought and
Okay.
then y'all can go ahead and answer those.
What I was gonna say is you hear a lot of people throwing around terminology, and a lot of people they always reference it takes a village, right? Right? It takes a village. So why is it that when you build a village, it's an issue, right? If it takes a village to raise children, to have a successful life, why is it that when somebody tries to build a village with that in mind, it's a jealousy thing? It's a I want to control you. That's my penis thing.
Well,
Like
let me answer this before y'all answer because I don't need a village of bitch. I don't need a village of bitches. I need a village of my sister, my
who's to say
family,
what a
my
village
friends.
look like?
I don't
Who's to
need
say what
no
a
bunch of
village look
bitches in
like?
my house. Period.
Yeah,
Okay,
bitches'
I'm
lives
sorry.
matter.
Oh, I'm trying to get monetized, and I'm cursing. Okay, listen. I
Oh, that's
don't
only matter
need.
for the first 5 minutes.
Okay, good.
No,
I
no
don't
cussing for
need.
the first 5 minutes. You good?
Good. Oh, and then we good. I don't need no bunch of chicks in my house to have no damn village. I got a mama-in-law. I got sisters. I got friends. Family. Village can be other things.
What if you live in a
Don't get
different
it
state?
twisted.
What if you live in a different state though? You don't
Well,
have the in-house babysit.
then
What about
maybe,
that?
then
You
maybe
have
I get a
girlfriends.
sister.
We have friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we maybe I get a sister wife that can't sleep with my man. Then
Okay.
okay,
So,
and
When
maybe
you
I get
okay.
that. You know, at the end of the day, because I need help. But other than that, no.
Nah, I think you know what? I think some light bulbs are turning on in your head. That's what's going on. You just don't want to admit
I'm
it
like,
publicly.
no, you know. Let me say, I'm gonna tell y'all the real before we answer this question. 3 kids change your entire life. You like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. I had 2 kids that was easy. They was doing everything by themselves. That third one, I was like, what's the other lifestyles? Let me do some research, figure this out. Maybe we can, hey, maybe this would be helpful for our community. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. No,
No, you're not.
I'm just fine. But so answer this question, y'all. Why do we think relationships are all about happiness? You know, I've talked to you all about the Asian culture and how relationships are foremost about building relationship with the entire, like the duty to the family, right? The duty to the community. So if you're and they're doing marriage right, and you know, meaning that they have more success than we have, their divorce rates are much lower, even when they're in America. When America have, you know, we have the option to divorce here, you know, it still works. So if you are unhappy, why do people think, okay, let's do this open marriage thing then, or let's do polygamy? Like, why do you think people do this?
I
Because they
think it.
can I
realized the
say?
movies were just movies.
Yeah, we sold a dream here
Can
in
I
this
say?
country a long time ago. It was a marketing campaign, selling diamonds.
Yep.
You know, my
1920s.
like my parent, the bank got 2 mortgages out of my parents when they got divorced. That's who benefited the economy, and they still are in these 2 homes today, still doing for one another. Her furniture is furnished by him, but they bought into this fantasy of marriage,
Yeah.
and then they let the world govern on how to operate within it, and neither one of them found happiness after that. And if you talk to them today and you ask them would they make the same decision that they did in their 30s, they both would say hell no.
Mm,
I asked myself. My mom thought for a couple of minutes. She's like, no. My dad thought for a couple of minutes. Ain't found a woman like my mom since.
Mm.
Yeah, but
I,
they bought into the fantasy of what marriage was supposed to be.
right,
mhm.
right.
Right.
Zadonia,
I
go ahead.
I think well, first issue is trying to go into a situation to find happiness outside of yourself is going to be a problem. It doesn't matter what the relationship is. Friendship, polyamory, monogamy, whatever it is, if you're unhappy with yourself, you're going to go into that situation unhappy. Like you searching for stuff outside of yourself. That's problematic in and of itself. But I also agree with what the men said, like you sold a bill of goods, right? They show you these dream weddings
With
and then you
Nichols.
run off happily ever after and y'all have, a dog, a cat, 2.3 kids, and a picket fence. And you think that's what's supposed to happen. And you see it on TV and they're always happy and they're, in these romantic comedies, they go through this little stupid stuff and then it's like music and they run off into the sunset. That's not real life, right? Marriage is a contract, but it's a business, really. Marriage is a business, and if you go, it has to be a well-oiled machine. And if everyone's not doing their part to make the machine work, it's going to be a problem. So if I'm unhappy and I don't even know how to make myself happy, I'm going to a situation looking for somebody else to do it, whether it's an alternative lifestyle or whatever. That's going to be a problem. Now I'm messing up the unit because I'm crazy, because I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know how to make myself happy,
Warner,
right? I
this
can't
one of
find
your
it for
friends,
somebody else.
Warner? This one of your friends? Wow. I see y'all
Yes.
stick together. I like her view on a lot of
Facts.
things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
She's
you. But
fantastic. I noticed that her
oh, thank
mind
you.
was amazing because you
Y'all
should
so
see some of
sweet.
the stuff. You should see some of the stuff she posts. And I was like, this
You got
girl,
YouTube? She got YouTube?
Sidonia, no, she's on Facebook.
Oh,
I'm on Facebook. I'll follow her, and
I
then I'm
don't
in
have
the
Facebook. I don't even have a Facebook.
I'm
Oh,
about to get rid of mine. So
Hey, I don't have any of them, so it's
Come to
except for
YouTube.
Snapchat. Except for Snapchat.
so
Come to
wow,
YouTube.
well, I
wow.
appreciate y'all. But
No
yeah,
social media.
definitely.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about this one day. That's another. Let me write this
Yeah.
down. Why don't y'all have social media? Okay, but here's the thing. She's got this mind. I already knew that. So I was
Oh,
like,
thank
I
you.
gotta have her
I
on this
appreciate
show.
that too.
Are you in Chicago
Um,
too?
No, I'm in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Vegas.
I'm out there a lot. I'm in Houston though.
uh,
Yeah.
oh, you need a
Yeah.
Private chat, private chat, private chat, private, private chat.
I'm just making sure. All right. Anybody else who want to
Yeah.
comment on this topic?
Yeah, this
So
is
like we were
happiness
talking
crap.
about. I'm sorry, Rucker.
That's all
You
good.
go. You go, bro. You go.
Wanda, you could pass her my information.
I
All
sure
right.
will.
This happiness crap is the reason why a lot of families don't exist right now. Why is everybody chasing feelings and stuff? Because it always changes. There's nothing stable anymore.
Correct.
No one's thinking about the bigger picture about retirement. Like, wow, okay, I can get another person, but is this going to be a good look at 60, 70? Is this person going to help me out? Do I have to start all over again, like Mr. O said, about getting another mortgage? Like, you're not going to pay that off before you actually pass away. So what's the point of doing all that? So if you sign up for a marriage, you can at least try to be open-minded if you're trying to make it work. But you trying to just do something new at an older age is dumb because everyone's trying to change their emotions and feelings. You got to really think about this. Can you really afford to be in your feelings at a certain age? Shouldn't it be cut off like right at like 30, 34 max? Like, why are you thinking you can start over again when you just running out of time? You know you have health issues. You know you got bills. You know all these things. You're running out of time. Why are you playing these games?
Who are you talking
Just
about?
think about
Women
it.
or men, Mr. Rucker? What you?
Both.
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 Oh, okay.
Both. Especially women, though, if you're trying to have a baby and stuff, like, time's a ticking. You can't just be getting men in and out of your life like that. Like, you're not going to look the best at 50 compared to when you were 30. So just stick with one man unless he's on drugs or hitting you upside the head. But like, other than that, like, what are you doing? You can't just be with your feelings all the time. So if women, some men now too, because of how they were raised, need to get out of their feelings and learn about the bigger picture. Is this a good look when I get older? That's all.
I see.
That's
Okay, go
that's
ahead,
important.
LB. I know you want to talk next. Oh, sorry, Zidonia. You were saying something?
No, it's fine. No, I was
Okay.
saying I agree. My grandpa was married for 59 years to my grandmother before she passed. But he said before he married her, he told all his sons, don't marry somebody just because you love them. Because when it's time for those bills to be paid or things get hard, you can't write a check to the power company to say we got love. That's not gonna
Exactly.
do it.
Love ain't gonna pay the rent.
Right.
Well, let
So
me say this. Well, and I don't pay rent, I pay mortgage. But here's the thing. Yeah. when I got married the first time, because y'all, everybody knows I'm divorced. I've been shared that story several times. So, somebody try to clap back and use it against me. I've already shared it. Thank you, Jesus. So, I was divorced. I married solely for love in that divorce. I was like, oh, I'm in love. Oh, he's so great, And the first year, I was like, what the hell did I do? This is not going to work. I am the breadwinner. I am the only consistent person. He brought absolutely, I'm sorry, I don't want to say that because it's my kid's father. But what I'm saying is that there was a lot of things that I ignored just because I felt like I was just in love. And that's what, oh, that's the most important thing. So everything that Mr. Rucker said, well, not everything, because you say some,
Crazy.
but most things that he said this time, I completely 100% agree with. You need to definitely be looking for more than just love. What else is going to sustain us over time? If that means that you need to investigate these alternative lifestyles and you need additional people to support your marriage for it to work, and you feel like that's a lifestyle for you, then that's what we're saying. Go for it. If you can function in a nuclear family like I do, go for it. We do. We can sustain our family. We are good. We not having, I don't know how many kids I can have by myself as the woman and take care of everything, because I need nannies and stuff now. I'm like, I need a 24-hour nanny. So I feel like, you have to investigate, and that's kind of all we're saying. But go ahead, LB. I know you got something to say about this part.
um while y'all are talking about this, I was thinking about under the lens of what I'm going to school for. I'm in my master's program for applied behavior analysis. I'm trying to become a behavior analyst. And when they talk about behavior, when we talk about why we all do this, because all organisms are all the same. And when if you study this stuff, all organisms are the same. Animal, human, they're all the same. So they say we do everything that happens. The whys are these four main reasons, which is sensory stimulation, escape, access to attention, and access to tangibles. So like when you talk about like, why do people want happiness, or why do people want to get married, or why do people want relationships, it's to me, just from observing from other people and just from observing the society and everything, it just seems like access to attention, and access to tangible, and access to stimulation. We want it all at certain points in time. Yeah, for men, money. For depending on situation. So we just have to look at it, and from that realm, from that like viewpoint, it's not like some big why, like we can't figure it out. We know, like some of us, we know it's access. It's some women want attention, and some women want attention and stimulation, because they like that dude and they want that attention. Some dudes say you want the access to tangible, which is the woman, and access to stimulation, which is the
Adult
sex.
entertainment. Yes.
Right. Well,
So,
let me answer Sherelle's question. She said, "Wanna chicken." If the bigger picture is the family, what's wrong with having an open marriage? They keeping the relationship together, but they want different sex. What's the issue? You
It's
want to
not
know
an issue
from
if that's
me?
what works from them.
Go ahead, explain what you were saying, Ladonia. I was
I
going to
think
answer
it
it.
depends on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
No, go ahead. I want you to. I want you
I
to.
don't think it's an issue if that's what works for that couple. I think that's the problem with so many relationships is we are trying to do what works for somebody else, and it doesn't work for you. If they have an open marriage and they're okay with it, and they're sustaining their family, and they're doing, everybody is okie dokie, it's a okay. That's not my business. I'm not going in that bedroom with them or whatever they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Whoever that works for. I think we have to focus on works for us, works for
Yeah.
your relationship,
Mhm.
because what someone else does might not necessarily work for you. Again, I think that we're supposed to take the meat and throw away the bones, right? That's what you're supposed to do. You take what works for you, and if that works for you, apply that for you and your relationship, you and your partner, whoever that is. And if it doesn't, leave it alone. right?
Z, I don't
Because
think
I
people
like
aren't doing
her,
the
man. I
work.
like her.
I don't think Z. I think people aren't doing the work. I agree with you. I don't think people are
Yes.
doing the work. I don't think people are doing the work
Mhm.
to figure out the why within themselves. I don't think people are figuring
Correct.
out like what do they really want and that kind of deal. Like when you're talking, when you're just talking before you even marry, you should have already discussed this. Like, are you open to this later on? I don't know if I'm gonna be into this later on, but at least can we be open and at least discuss it or that kind of thing. Like Mr. O says, we are on a journey. Like I don't think that even in the way that we are raised, really lends itself for us to know ourselves. Because when we are young, we are put under rules and constraints and put in different small worlds that we can only interact with under the supervision of our parents for various reasons. And then when we grow up, we have we have this bigger world that we have to find ourselves in.
But
And
I
It,
think
I
And
that
want.
that goes
It
wrong.
brings
That
me
starts
to
from
my.
dating, though.
That brings me
People
to
need
my.
people date wrong. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go
right.
ahead.
Go
It
ahead.
just it brings me to my next point, and I'm gonna speak to the males here because I can't speak for women on the journey. I know that everyone should embrace theirs, but at some point, males, you're gonna have to consciously make a decision to not be involuntarily programmed anymore. I remember the day when I was in a valley and I had put black sheets over my windows and I wanted to swallow a bunch of pills because I just didn't know why I wasn't adulting. I was confused. I didn't really want to self delete, but I was confused of my existence. And I noticed, you see, if you go to my Instagram, I follow nobody, zero people. Um, I don't play video games and I don't watch TV. I may turn on a Netflix or one of these outlets on a smart TV to fall asleep to. It may take me a few days to watch a movie, but that's just because I have bilateral tinnitus in my ears and I need to hear the noise. But I refuse. Like, if you ever heard a woman who never watched sports in her life know the score to the game in the morning because the TV is on? And she just hears it on her way to the bathroom, and she heard the Rockets beat the 76ers 138 to 150. I don't know, whatever. Like, she knows because they got commercials in elevators, at the gas pump. And when you want to turn off the static to gain something, do you know that women who don't really know who they are looking for something uncommon, not a carbon copy? And I got to be uncommon every day, which is why I have to voluntarily program myself with something I didn't know yesterday in order to be able to have the answer to what I don't know I need the answer to tomorrow. The woman is expecting you to be a man at some point and just man shit. And she wants an uncommon conversation and an uncommon experience. She's never going to be satisfied or get complacent in your life. And if you're going to preside over these lifestyles, you need to understand how to add real value to a woman and stop adopting these first world ideologies on how you should structure your life.
Right.
Embrace your journey by cutting out static and saying yes to an opportunity, making wise decisions based on everything you've learned up to that point. And go through life and then don't let the world tell you, no, don't do that because this, do what you feel and feel the vibration of this earth, this planet that you're on, and embrace your journey. Whether it takes you overseas, like you may have an opportunity, somebody say, hey, we're going on this trip. Can you come? Say yes.
Yeah.
Don't say, I don't got a passport. Get it. Because you don't know why you're meant to go over there. I've walked through the ruins in Babylon and put my feet in the Red Sea, and I cried, man, singing hymnals in my head
not the
in a war
hymnals.
zone, right? Because I grew up as a Christian, and it was comforting to me,
Right.
to walk and sing to myself and have consecration, man, and embrace the environment that I was in because it taught me a lot about myself. And I met a man named Mohammed Gul who can only eat meat on Tuesdays, didn't have no lights, lived in a hut, and all he wanted to see was a skyscraper, a big tall building. And it made me question all the shit I took for granted and where I came from.
Yeah.
And it showed me who I was. And until you really go through that journey and embrace your life, you just a carbon copy of what you see, man. And you ain't gonna have no longevity out of that. If you want to be something valuable to a woman, a man got to know who he is and what he wants. Because women need an uncommon man and a plan. before it to ever even make sense.
Facts.
Otherwise,
All right.
nigga, you
All
just
right.
talking
Facts.
and you in the way. You
Yeah.
really in the way.
Let me say this, Mr. O, thank you so much for sharing. That was powerful. And I do think that a lot of times what people do is glorify either one, right? They glorify the marriage and, oh, I want to be married, but also people glorify these alternative lifestyles like they're the answer to all of our relationship problems. And Mr. O made a point like, you need to know who you are, you need to know what you need, and you need to do the research and not just put this alternative lifestyle out there and really, it's not the answer to all failing relationships. So, to answer your question, Sherelle, I don't believe that being in an open marriage or polygamous or polyamory or whatever is the answer to not being able to stay in a nuclear family. I think that for me or for some people, like I've had examples of marriages that worked, and I'm not going to necessarily put myself in a box based on what other people believe women should do in the household, traditional roles, etc. I have what works in my household. Maybe some of my roles are traditional, but a lot of them aren't. And so what I do is what's best for my family. And I do exactly what Mr. O said. The moment where I don't feel that I need support in that way in my relationship. But if that is what you need in your relationship in order to sustain it, um, these lifestyles are welcomed. However, me personally, I feel like for me, I want people who want a nuclear family and who want those types of relationships to know how to sustain that in a healthy way. And this whole idea of, relationships and marriage being a duty is something that people, don't understand in Western culture because we are so used to being happy in a relationship and somebody making us happy that we don't really understand that. And if you don't understand, if you don't want that, then maybe marriage isn't for you. So going through that journey and recognizing whether marriage is for you or not, and whether maybe something else is for you. There's other off lifestyles. So that's my answer to Sherelle's question. But I don't know, LB.
I'll cut it. I'll cut in.
Go ahead.
Piggyback. I want to piggyback off Mr. O again. He made a very, very valid point in knowing yourself, and I think I spoke on this before. Like I said, I've always had women, but I remember being 23 years old, and I was in the bathroom at home, and I looked in the mirror, and I was just playing around at first, and I said, "Who are you?" And I started like smiling, and all of a sudden, that smile turned to a frown. And then I start crying because I realized, damn, I don't even know who I am. I was living off the regurgitation of everyone else's thoughts about me. I was the guy that had all the chicks from the dudes and to the ladies, I was just that guy. But I was like, it's so unfulfilling because I didn't know myself. So, like Mr. O, I had cable for, when I first bought my house, I had cable for 2 months. Only time I ever had cable in my life. Disconnected it, turned my phone off, and for the next like month or two, all I did was go to work. After work, I would go home, go get food, and come home and watch movies. The reason I did that was because I had to figure out who I was. I had to spend time with myself. I was always used to calling somebody or somebody calling me. So after a couple months, I got comfortable with knowing who I was. So therefore, I didn't need to rely on a woman for confidence or reassurance anymore. So we fast forward as I got older, I started questioning a lot of my actions. Like, why am I smashing so many women? Like, what? What's the point? Like, I wasn't one of those guys getting money from them. It was just the mutual exchange. I just wanted to smash, and that was it. So then I started realizing that I didn't like who I was becoming. And I started trying to bury myself, try to hide from who I was. So to make a long story very short, the reason I picked the name the Evolutionary Playboy is because I knew that Playboy in itself is controversial. But I had to remember that that's who the fuck I am. Doesn't mean that I'm out there just trying to smash every chick I see, but I'm a motherfucking player in here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like the moment that I made that shit come back to reality and realize that I evolve, hence evolutionary. It's not about playing. It's about evolving into a man. But I can't discard that playboy that got me to where I am. That confidence came from those women. Women gave me confidence, but I've been able to grow from that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't watch TV. All I watch is YouTube, Netflix. I don't even have music apps. I still use an iPod
Wait, are y'all
because I
saying that TV kind of poisoning our mind or
No,
what?
it's programming.
we're saying there's 24 hours in the day. We all get the same 24. What are you not doing? I mean,
Yeah.
is your life where it need to be that you can watch football all day on Sunday and Thursday and Monday and play 5 hours on the video game and talk to your home girl and go see mama, and like we all got 24.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And
you're gonna
I haven't played a
sleep
video
for
game since I
five
was
because everybody
14.
ain't getting 8. You're gonna sacrifice sleep to do something that ain't feeding your mind, and then you get stuck into something that's comfortable.
Mhm.
And then in order to grow, you got to get uncomfortable. So people don't want to give up what the comfortability is in order to gain something. Ain't nobody gain nothing without giving up something in this place, man.
That's
You got to
true.
give up
Yep.
something for something to come to you. And a lot of y'all
Yeah.
got some blessings waiting on y'all. Y'all just the universe is just waiting on you to clear out room.
Yeah. People pray to God every day to
Declutter.
help them, but he don't. But they don't fail to. They fail to realize that God is waiting on you to. He's waiting on you to take a step towards Him. God's not gonna walk towards you. You got to walk to Him. You know what I mean? So stop praying and start walking,
All
because
this,
in the Bible it says,
Faith
prayer
without
without
works is
work
dead.
is death.
there ain't no work is
Wake your
useless.
ass up and get to work.
I don't know where this dream with people came. If it's for me, it's just gonna fall out the sky and come. No,
Bullshit.
you got choices, man. And if you make the wrong one, you get put back on that little merry-go-round, and you might get the opportunity to make a choice again.
Well,
But you got
Mr. O and
choice.
Mr.
Yes.
O and Playboy. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I don't want to interrupt. I do agree. I do agree to some extent to what y'all are saying. But I don't want to necessarily focus on, oh, if you're watching TV or if you're doing video games or you're doing X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying that you are. I don't want to do too much of a focus on
Well,
what you're
let's say
doing.
it different. Let's say whatever if you're honest about what your crutches are,
Yeah.
whatever your particular crutches are,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you need to clear out mental space in order to receive some new information.
Yeah. And the reason why I didn't want to do that, because like we've all known plenty of people that can play video games for 5 hours, then go outside and still crush it. And I mean that, and that's just within their skill set.
Right.
It all
But we're
comes back to
talking about.
I
who
just
you
was
are.
telling you
It
my
all comes back
things.
to who
Yeah.
you are.
Yes.
It all comes
And
back
what
to
I
Down to
left
who
out,
you are.
I'll even be more honest. I gave up sex and weed too.
Mm-hmm.
In that,
Yeah,
because
you have
those
to
were
find.
things
Yeah,
that I was dependent on.
yeah.
How
You have to do what you
how
have to make
many
it.
years did you, or how long did you give up
I
sex?
gave up sex for like 4 months now. I ain't gonna get crazy with it. I need it. Yeah. 4 months. I went 4 months with
I
No,
no weed and no sex.
that's good because
But I
you
And
went
the
I have
reason
longer without the TV, and
the
I still don't watch TV. I
the
replaced that with
reason.
books on
My
tape
Hey,
bad.
in the
like
car. Yeah.
I didn't want to shout out this show. I like but like me, I'm not like Mr. O and all that. I'm still in school. I'm still out here, but hey, I'm still going trucking. So I do watch TV, and I do play video games, but that doesn't. But they don't occupy like the majority of my life. I still work
right.
full-time job, behavioral specialist for the state, and I'm helping people, and I'm doing other things. So you have to
So
figure
it's
out what's
possible
you.
to do everything
Mhm.
and still
Yeah,
be
like
able
everybody
You
to.
have
got
to
what
find out
works
vices.
for
what's you.
We
You
you.
have
all
to
have
Everybody's
vices.
path is different.
Right.
So
yeah,
Whatever
but
your
what
you
works for
vices
you.
are, because everybody has
Right.
vices. So
yeah,
whatever your
Right.
vices are,
yeah,
you
and
you
Right.
I just wanted to
right.
shout out. I'm sorry, I just wanted to shout out this show. I know that for people that are like me and that do like maybe function well with TV or whatever, there's this show called Big Love. It's on HBO Max. They talk about polygamy. They talk about
What's it
like
called?
It's called Big Love. It's
Big
on
Love. I
HBO
have
Max.
HBO Max. I know it's on one of these apps.
Yeah, I've
Mhm.
seen it
Yeah.
before.
LB, if you stop watching TV, then you'll be able to wear no shirt in December. Like, come on.
I already do try to work out, man. I just,
You-
I need to find out where Playboy
Winter
works
won't
out at
even
so I
matter
can,
to
like,
you,
start
Nah, but the
LB.
reason, let me just say
Winter.
this. The reason I reference TV, and stuff is
Yeah.
because I know what it can do to a mind that isn't focused. I'm not
Right.
saying that
That's true.
people that watch
Absolutely.
TV aren't handling business, but I noticed that it was affecting my mindset and I want to have
Yeah.
control, which is why I
Right.
have an iPod. I'm
Yeah.
not going to let you tell me what song I need to listen to with a music
Yes.
app. I'm going to pick the
Yes.
song I feel like listening to.
I don't
You
listen
get
to
what I'm saying?
radio. My own
So no, I don't
playlist.
hate my brother's a gamer.
Yeah.
My two sons, they gamers. You know what I
My
mean?
son,
So
they
yeah.
it's no,
gamers
it's no
too.
knock.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
I
it's
just
just
wanted
what comes for you.
to highlight that there are people out there that can do those things
Yeah,
and
yeah,
still
of course.
function.
Yeah, the
But
gamers
again,
are
it goes
coming
back to
for
what
me
we
in
were
the chat.
saying is
The
that it
gamers
goes
are.
back to what we were
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
It's
they
just
was
like
coming for you,
it's
Mr. O.
They
They
said
was
they about
like,
to protest me,
like, wait
and
a
there's
minute,
no knock
wait
on the
a
gamers.
minute
yeah.
now.
I
It
just
just
said it for me. Like I was that
yeah.
kid. I didn't ask for the games for Christmas. I asked for like
The
Walkmans and
books.
boom
Yeah.
boxes and CD players and
Ooh,
books.
boom boxes.
My
Yeah.
little brother, I grew up. I'm born in '81. So yeah, this is before the internet and all that. I had a boom box. We had tape cassettes and
Yeah.
floppy disks on it. Yeah, all that.
Still
Oh,
But
you
got one.
81?
but my
I'm 82.
son, yeah, but my brother, he always had the video games, and he would play them at the TV all day. He just sit there and do this. Like I don't know what the guys after on the summer break, they would just be and they love it. I play one time and then I'm like, let's go outside. Where the women at? You know, where the girls at? They ain't doing this. You know, that just was me.
Yeah.
I'm just not a video game guy, but nothing against
Yeah,
gamers,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
That
shout
listen,
just
out
no,
to
I
the
just wanted to
gamers.
highlight
listen,
it
let
because
me
I
just
just
say
wanted
this.
because there's
No,
people.
LB,
Sorry.
because I'm with you. Because the whole time he was talking, I'm like, I ain't giving up reality TV.
Yeah.
Never, never.
Well,
And me
you
as
don't have to,
Adonia,
Wanda.
we
You don't
know.
have
Me as this is what we do. Me as
to.
Adonia, this is what we do. You was ruining,
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, no, I was like,
Don't like
maybe I
watching the
shouldn't
train
talk about.
wrecks.
Right. But if you talk to a psychologist, they'll tell you that like one of the 5 things that you need for a healthy mind state is a recreation. So
Very
if that's
true.
your
It's
recreation,
Very
whatever
true.
works for
that
you.
you
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
need a little. Everybody need a little recreation to
Right.
Yeah.
keep their sanity.
Reality helps me
Mm-hmm.
decompress. What
Right.
I
So
do
yeah,
every day for
you
work
do
is
need a little
traumatizing.
recreation.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I need stuff to
Like it's
decompress.
healthy to
And
have a
reality
little
shows is where
recreation.
I cut up with those because
We
And
all
stop the
The
self
train
all
My
I
pleasure.
wreck.
need
thing
to
is like,
Stop the self pleasure for a little bit. I've
see, I
been
Right.
love
no
It's
movies.
self pleasure
balanced.
for
It's
5
balanced.
months, and
Yeah.
my
you
clarity up
said you
here,
have no
Mm-hmm.
self
I haven't
pleasure.
I haven't touched myself in 5 months.
The no fap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You talking about masturbation.
yeah,
wait.
because you gotta. I feel like this. I feel like
So
this.
don't masturbate for 5 months, and it's supposed to do what? Go ahead.
Well,
So
no,
Well,
That's
he's a sprinter of sprinter. Now you know these guys are very very disciplined. They're a different specimen of people. He has a certain level of discipline to even be like that. His
very
body is
true.
sculpted like yeah. You ever seen sprinters that how they in shape? Like they are some of the most gifted people genetically and with the most sound discipline. He can do that. I can't. You know, I'm not a sprinter. You know,
now,
but I've had that
but
type of
look,
yeah.
I couldn't do it either. But the reason I did it is because I wanted to challenge myself, and the reason I wanted to challenge myself was this. In my mind, I said this: if I have to pleasure myself, that means I have no control. If I want a nut that bad that I got to get it myself, I have no control. I said if I want a bust, I have to earn that shit from a woman.
oh,
So if I ain't earned it, I don't deserve it.
you ain't doing it, huh? Okay. Well, let's
People take
go.
that
Go
journey
ahead,
though.
Zidonia. You
I'm,
got
I'm
some.
a lot of people
That's a
take
whole
that journey
nother
where
level of
they
discipline.
separate
I haven't reached that.
they 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 separate, not having any
Reach.
sex, whether it's by themselves or with someone else, to focus, to refocus,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes that it can be distracting if that's all you
Think
Right.
about.
that's
Exactly.
on your
Mm-hmm.
mind all the time. So, but no, I'm with my sis. I'm not giving up reality TV. That's what I need to
I
That's
love
All
it.
good.
decompress. That's my
It's
recreation.
thing.
all good.
But
Yes.
it's funny to me.
Just
But
don't binge it though. Like
yeah.
don't give like 8, 10
But
hours to it. I mean give it
Wanda's like,
who
2,
what?
has that kind of
Like,
time? Did you say 18
Maybe
hours?
8
unless
to
you're
10. I
sick,
said
you know,
8
if
to
you're sick,
10.
you
Like
go ahead and watch it.
yeah,
hey,
Well,
it's
let
for
me.
the
all
I'm a.
bingers out there, if you binge, just make sure your business is done first.
like
Do
you
your
There
said.
we
Like
You
do
know
go.
your
what?
There
business.
we
Yeah.
go.
Right.
There we
You know
go.
what?
Then
Make
you
sure
can
that you're
binge.
doing
Make
what
that
you're
be your
supposed to
reward, your
do. Have your
reinforcement.
things in order.
You
Yeah.
see, in
You
China,
know
they
what?
cut down video game usage.
This
They
bringing me
even
to
had
my
the
next point
yeah.
though, because see, I'm gonna have a reality TV night on Thursdays, y'all. So I'm gonna be talking about
Married
reality
at First Sight.
TV,
I'm
but
so behind. I ain't caught up at
on
all.
Sundays, you know, we're gonna do this deep stuff. But
What
on
shows are y'all into? Which
Thursday,
ones though? Which realities?
oh, Married at
90
First
Day
Sight,
Fiance.
90 Day Fiance.
Oh, train wrecks.
We watch
Which
Ready to
one's on that?
Love.
Oh yeah.
I did
I
see one of the
watch
Ready to Loves. I seen them on
I
YouTube
watch
a
Love
couple
and Hip
episodes.
Hop. I love Love and Marriage Hospital. I watch it. Listen, there isn't one that I haven't watched. Y'all,
Couples Therapy,
I
Wanda?
watch.
Couples
I
Therapy?
watch what Couples Therapy. I watch.
Is
Yeah.
basketball
Okay.
still on? They
I
still
watch
got the
600-Pound Life. I even
Oh.
watch Doctor.
Damn.
I watch Doctor Picklepocket.
Hey,
This
they
is Dr.
filmed.
I
They
can't do that one.
they
I
filmed that
watch everything.
600-pound
Also,
life at a building here where my tailor is located here in Houston. They filmed
yeah.
that show here.
Listen, if them women can have
Same
men,
building.
then
At
don't tell
600
me.
pounds.
Listen, I saw one man hosing the
Okay.
woman down on the porch.
Saw that one.
Oh.
I saw
Do you
that one.
hear me?
Ah.
Her
Got a
husband,
legit hose.
her husband hosed her down. So don't tell me that I
Yeah,
can't
because
get
they
me
on
a
government
man.
assistance
Right.
and you
Like a
trying to
cow?
get that check.
Like a cow? Like they just.
That's because they on
He
Like a
government
couldn't
cow.
fit
assistance.
that
Cow.
big.
She
Those
couldn't.
shows are
She
actually
couldn't
really
fit in the
interesting,
shower.
though.
She couldn't
Yeah.
fit in the shower because
How can
she
she?
was over 600 pounds. So she
He
washed
hosed her
her
down
on
like
the
a car.
porch. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
he
hosed
did.
down on the
Oh,
She
he's
porch.
said
there
like
for the
a
life
car.
insurance money.
He-
The
Life insurance.
the reality TV shows, they're interesting, especially when you want to look at them and then like be a part of the manosphere or what how these talking points that is the manosphere you be talking about like no, you have to be fit, feminine, and whatever. And it's like no, like
Yeah,
look
but
at 500, 600-pound life. These dudes are not as fat as
It
the
they
does.
in
girls that
love
they're
too.
It does
with.
change the reality. So this brings me to my next question. Do people stay together for the image and really be
Ooh.
unhappy in
Yeah.
their relationships? What do you guys say to this?
Yes.
Well, look at Bill Gates. He had a girlfriend the whole entire time that complemented his mental capacity. They connected on a level that his wife for the image did not. However, his wife was in agreement with that, and he got to go on one vacation a year with her. His wife knew about it, but they had to, for image purposes, he had to marry a certain caliber of woman. And you look at every president, you ain't gonna get no president unless he got a wife that complements that to a certain way. Like they won't say what they want to about Melania Trump, but like she ain't doing nothing to getting in the news for scandals while she was in that office. You can talk about her past how you want to, but even Beyonce and Jay-Z, Beyonce knew that when he cheated on her, see, Beyonce knew it was a camera in the elevator. Solange's out of order ass did not. Beyonce knew it's a camera right here. I got to stay graceful and classy to survive this because image equals success. When you talk to these image consultants, man, they gonna tell you your image got a lot to do with your success in your transition.
Facts.
You have to be accepted into whatever realm you're going into to even operate on the level that you want to. If they don't see you as an equal, you're not there.
Right.
Your
Damn right.
image equals success. Your image matters to
Yeah.
your success. Pastors got to have first ladies. No different than presidents got to have wives. And they got, the debutante. Like in the South, we know this. We've been about this in the South. Image is everything. Image is everything.
Yep.
Ain't that a Sprite
Yeah.
commercial? Or is that 7-Up? One of them is like that.
Thirst,
Image is
Image is
everything.
everything.
Thirst is everything, but it's image too. I mean, but it's
Oh
the
yeah.
We
truth.
talk about some
Image is
the
nothing.
Sprite
Nothing.
commercial.
Thirst
It's
is
the truth
everything.
though, because I do
I'm
know.
just freestyling, so I don't know.
But it's the truth. Like there is a bishop that we know, and he's been a bishop for
She
a
say
long
he
time.
got that off a Cracker Jack box.
No, no, it just brought
Got
to my
him.
mind. And like
She
he
called
never
you
this
out
bishop
though.
has,
She did.
I wasn't trying to call you out. I was just saying
No, you kind of did. It was a jab.
I was just saying it's on point. If it was a
Get
major
that
brand,
off a
then it's on
popsicle
point.
stick.
but the bishop that I know, he's never been married. He's an older gentleman. He was married once, but he hasn't been married for years and
That's
years
not the
and years.
norm though, and
And
it's
that's
not
correct.
accepted.
It's not the norm. And people talk about him all the time. And it goes to, again, to when it's a certain type of man that women will throw themselves at you. He's a bishop, and because he has that title, they got groupies too in the church, right?
Like sometimes to reach an audience, like you have to like relate to them in ways where they can even listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
There,
Like
yeah,
the
there's certain, I
outreach
have,
is something it
Yep.
just allows people to even receive the message you by making it
Yeah.
presentable. I know if
Mm-hmm.
I want to
there's
talk to some some of these young guys I talk to, sometimes I got to put on the purple jeans and one of the shirts with the Bape shirt or something like that, just so
Mm-hmm.
they can like, okay,
you have
you
to be
got some,
relatable.
you
Mr.
right,
Yeah, like guys, like
yeah,
when I was younger, in my younger days, I used to be like heavily involved in the church, and it was like right when I was like 15, and my like the 15 year, I
my
started children's
whole
ministry for about 12
childhood.
or 13 years, and I had said like, well, I'm interested in being a children's pastor because there was an opening, and I had applied, and they were like, you are qualified, but like you need to be married to have this position. There's that image. There's
That
that
is
deal. You have
absolutely
to.
what
Image.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely what happens. I mean, it happened to me with working with kids and things like that, and I came
Mm-hmm.
up with some wonderful ideas. And I had one of the men say to me, "If you were married, your husband could present this for you, and they would accept it."
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I mean, but that's a whole
Yeah,
nother.
Well,
I know that's a
you
whole nother
But
deal. That's a whole
see,
nother
you
but
don't
deal.
like that
but
double
I'm not
standard when
surprised.
it don't benefit you, but when you put on that red dress and get free access to the VIP, you don't say nothing. We
who?
all know that. Like they selling that sex sells. Sometimes
Yeah, it does.
sometimes my success as a man is determined by how beautiful the woman next to me is,
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
I have
Mm-hmm.
friends
and
that
you
are in
can't do
high
nothing about that.
positions, and he
Mm-hmm.
can't
Strip
go to the
clubs
next
and golf
level.
courses, a lot of
Right.
deals get done because we're relatable. People want to do business
Absolutely.
with people that they like,
Mm-hmm.
that are
Exactly.
relatable to them. It got
Yeah,
nothing to
there's
do with your qualifications.
they
It
just
got to
want
do
to
if they see you
correct.
as an equal.
Mm-hmm.
If they think you fit in and you're on their
You got
level,
to
that's
be
Yeah.
absolutely what
accepted.
happened.
You got to be seen
Yeah.
as a peer.
Yep. I can
Unfortunately,
say
that's
even
just
with
how
me
it
and
is.
Mr. O, we never even had a conversation. It just clicked one day.
Yeah,
You just
for
you
sure.
see yourself as somebody else, and it just is what it is.
Right. And that's why I
Right.
say this is a little discernment that I can see for certain these guys like Steph and Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
These guys would
No,
be
those are
my
different kind of
fans if
men.
they were
Yeah.
not rich with the
Hmm.
wealth and they met me in the club. I'm not gonna name no names, but I got some NFL player that seen me moving one night and approached me, and he watched me for a while and confided in me and told me he know why he met me, and he admired the way people responded to me in public. He loved my image and what I represented. This is a millionaire. So I know little guys like Steph and I had them guys in high school that was outside our little circle, and they was standing on the outskirts looking in and cheering and always complimenting me. I seen guys like this.
I
They
had to
don't
look them
have that.
picture. I gotta look their picture up again because y'all coming at them. I'm like,
No, it's not that he's
It
like
ain't
ugly,
even the
but it's
look.
just
It's
like
just if
Steph
you
Curry
Yeah.
and
listen
Russell
to an
Wilson,
interview, just
they are.
listen to them talk.
Russell Wilson is handsome. But
Listen to them
Russell
they're
talk.
not
Wilson
what
is handsome,
Just
and he
listen
got a
to the way they
body.
speak. Those men cannot command your attention with just their presence and the
Yes,
way they
yes, he
speak.
can. Yes,
Tawana's
he
like,
can.
yes,
Tawana.
Yes, he
If
When
can.
the
Look,
Steph
look.
Curry,
butterflies leave,
if Steph Curry
Absolutely,
when the
wasn't rich,
butterflies
absolutely.
he
leave,
Yes,
wouldn't
what's
yes.
the
even.
standard?
To command
there's
the yes,
certain
he
men that
can.
like
They can't
that
even
have
Tawana,
communicate
no,
the
you would
words
not
the
even
way
look. You
that.
wouldn't even
I
notice
think
him.
Come on, man.
Right,
You would
Twan.
not
Russell
notice
Wilson
Steph Curry
Why
now
we
if you
I
didn't
all
know
I
always
about him.
would.
pretending
I
like we
don't
don't
know.
all know this?
I may be looking at some different men because I
Wilson
swear.
is
I know.
attractive.
I've
Now,
seen.
but I know what he's saying. There's a certain type
Russell
of man
Wilson is
though that when
dressing
he
better
steps
because of
in,
Sierra, but he still
she
has no
upgraded him.
charisma. He does not have
But
a
there's a certain
vernacular that stands out.
confidence.
He doesn't have a commanding presence unless he's in a huddle, a football huddle.
Yeah,
Other
that
But he's
uniform
men,
is
not
the
like
savior.
you know what? Who else is a little guy, but he
men
has a
who have in
presence?
their way don't
T.I.
see
do.
Russell Wilson as competition.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to think because a man is not as vocal or he like the women are more dominating in the fact that they are more social or they have more of an extroverted personality, that the man is somehow weak or less than,
I
because
almost feel like y'all
some
saying,
women,
prove it, prove it.
but here's
Prove
the
it.
thing.
It's what I hear
Some
when y'all
women,
give pushback.
some women, I don't
Yeah.
like I don't like men who talk a lot. It really agitates me. I will really be very mean to him, like shut up, because I can't deal with it. I don't care how alpha he is, I hate it.
It
And so
ain't alpha. It's just a presence.
I don't care who he is, just
It's a
shut up,
presence.
don't talk to me, I don't want to hear that shit.
Certain
I don't like
men,
a man that talks too much.
certain men,
So
you could
what I'm
just
saying,
feel them when they in the room. You could just feel them.
So what?
I don't need
let
to
me
feel
say
you.
this.
I
Let me
need
say
you to
something,
just
sis.
shut up and sit down. No, I'm just playing. But
Let me
here's the
say
thing. Here's the
Let me
thing,
mute
though.
my mic.
No, I'm just playing. What I was saying though is sometimes women who are extroverted like that, they tend to date men who are a little bit milder and a little bit more reserved. That doesn't mean that he is a pushover, or that he is, just gonna let her walk up over him. Like, some men just don't speak unless they need to. They don't really find value in talking a lot. They demand respect with their presence. And I guess you're saying that Stephen, what is it, Stephen? Just Stephen. Stephen, he doesn't command that attention, because he does to me. I don't know what y'all, but especially and Russell do as well. I don't know what y'all saying. I'm looking at it.
I can say honest.
Russell
Russell commands much more than Steph. I can say that.
The difference is, for me, I don't think is so much like him speaking, but there's like a certain confidence that comes with it. Like, T.I. is a little bitty dude, but when he's in the room, he commands a presence. And he's not like the finest thing to me.
No, but
there's something about him that I'm like, oh, he talks too much. Right. It makes up words and everything.
He's that little man that I would tell to be quiet. Like, be quiet.
It sounds like y'all just want like mature guys that know who they are and are confident in who they are.
That's it.
That can be able to navigate themselves not only in business but in social situations as well.
Correct.
And be who you are. If you don't like to talk, don't get in the room and try to be talking.
Be extra.
It's awkward.
Be extra.
Do you all ladies find like those men that do all that, like they trying too hard or something? Or you just don't
get
like
attention
that?
from me doing that. Like,
Okay.
don't
my dad, I'm gonna tell you why. My dad he doesn't talk a lot. My dad is, and so for me, I think maybe I naturally look, because my dad was like a good provider. He was a good man. He took care of all his kids, and he's just like, whatever. I love my dad. I'm a daddy's girl. So I think maybe my dad always he set the example for me. Like, this is how men behave. So when I look for men, it's like, that was attractive to me, like men who just was kind of like they demand a level of respect, but they're not like trying to be in the limelight. And maybe because I'm a little extroverted and extra, like, you gotta be kind of mild to bring me down. Because if we both turned up, it's gonna be like a turned up night. You know what I'm saying?
This is a good example of what I wanted to say. Because if we can use what we can prove to be true based on history, then we know that women don't know how to pick. At a time where marriages and relationships were successful, women didn't make their own choices. Like, they were presented with an opportunity that they father or pastor or community vetted. And she said, okay, I like him enough to hear what he got to say. Let us go down the street and see if we got some chemistry. And then all the proper vetting was done by the people who didn't have the butterflies involved. See, when you think about what's sustainable in the relationships, if a man don't have a mental residence in that woman's mind, it ain't going nowhere. Past the butterflies and the sex.
What society was this where they picking the woman for you?
Well, in the earlier times of the 50s.
And that was more successful, is what you're saying.
Well, people were together for longevity and they passed down things that were sustainable and of substance.
Yeah, those women may not have been having.
I think that's like a larger conversation, because how are we measuring success nowadays? Like,
in today's world, people aren't together, and this is why we have these platforms.
That's how you're measuring. That's how you're. But that's how you're
Women
measuring
was
success,
taking a
right? Like
whole lot more.
Juana's coming. Like, are they happy? Are these women happy? Are
Of
these women?
course they
I mean,
were.
like,
They were able to die. They were able
yeah.
to get old and die.
Oh no, but
Some of them weren't
It
happy.
costs to get
that's
old and
Some
die
of
and
them
leave
weren't
the
happy.
kids something and not have
wait.
debt and
But
have
that's a
a
different.
successful uh a
Women
money
had no
transfer.
agency then, so no, they weren't happy.
We were
Because if you take
leaving
away a
wealth
woman's agency and
behind.
autonomy,
We had
no.
kids who were raised in 2-parent homes and they
And
grew
they
up.
had, and women was accepting daddy's home family around the corner and some more
Right.
stuff, and they was getting beat up, and there's a lot of other stuff that
Yeah,
came
that
with
don't
that
mean that
too. So
we were just
they were
talking about
successful because
polyamory. You think women didn't accept that, but they did. They knew that they had a kid, that their
that
husband had a
women
kid
didn't
down the
have
street.
agency, the rights and things that women were not allowed to do from way back when, even up till now, are completely different. Women
Right.
are not taking a bunch of the crap that, because I hear people say that, well, why y'all don't do what Granny used to do? Well, guess what? I don't want to get knocked upside my head.
You
I want
can't
to be
have it
able to
both
have a voice. I
ways.
want to be. I'm saying again.
You can't have it both ways.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
That was a
Yes, I
lie that
can.
you were sold, but you can't like
No,
say
yeah,
that.
I can be. I
Yeah.
can be happy and have agency and have
No,
a
that's not
partner.
what I'm
I can
saying. I'm
absolutely
saying
have
like
that.
Chaos.
Right.
the
That's
argument, because we had a particular argument earlier, and now this is like becoming like the inverse of that.
okay.
Like,
What's that?
well,
Tell
we were
me.
talking
Tell me what
about
you mean.
polyamory, and we were talking about why the relationships come together and what made them successful,
Okay.
and how this first world country has a way of thinking that is the basis behind the chaos that we live in. And for a woman to think that she could have it all now, and women in the past, in times past, weren't happy, like, then that's like,
But some of them weren't. Like, that's the truth.
we don't
Some
know
of them
that we
stayed
wasn't
in these
there.
Well, why
I
you think
don't
the
I
feminist
know.
movement came about?
be, be,
You think
to
it just
sell
came out of
product.
nowhere? They was unhappy with being
No,
I don't think
controlled
it was.
by
It wasn't
well,
men.
just
let's look at it like
Juana.
this,
I don't
because
think
I
it was
wasn't
just.
living. I don't want to come in there, but I will do say this: if this country is the country who has the most choices and is the least happy, then there's a correlation into giving women all the choices that they want. When you gave women the more choices to make their own decisions, and you ask women today, are they happy overall with all the choices that they asked for? Overall, women will say that they are not happy today.
Mm-hmm.
Too emotional.
That's good.
There's
Only
more choices
13%
that
of
you
women
have
say they're
today
happy.
I
than
don't.
women have ever
See,
had,
Who are they
Mr.
quoting?
and that
O, I
women
would.
don't have in other countries.
Mr.
But
O,
in
I
other
disagree. I
countries,
disagree with
more
the fact
people are
that it's the
together and
choice. I'm
people are
sorry,
happy overall because they have family.
Well, let
Mr.
let
O. I
let
think.
LB
I'm sorry.
respond. Go ahead, LB.
Yeah, I don't think it's the. I don't. The enemy is not choice. The enemy is discipline. The enemy is discipline
There you
and
go.
like knowing yourself. And I think largely we have to know what do we want out of life, and we have to be disciplined enough to be able to be like, okay, I have to do X, Y, and Z to get it, and we have to accept
Correct.
and be able to be mature enough to be like, I made these choices, and this is my life, and I need to accept it.
Yeah, I just don't have anything to support that. What supports my argument is looking outside of America and looking at countries who don't have as many choices, and are they successful overall?
But that's the
I
problem.
can't measure the discipline part. I can just measure like when we've argued for more choice,
Yeah.
we've given more choice,
Yeah.
and as a result of people making their own choice, you tend to see today women
Yeah.
choosing wrong. They're
But that's the
choosing
problem, right?
wrong.
But that's the problem. Our country is
Yeah.
we have gone through these conversations before. It's been like a main talking point. Let's look at this country. Or
Do
let's
you
look at
think
this
women
nation.
know how to
Let's
choose?
look at but like I'm saying that
Yes.
I'm saying
How's
that
that to him?
I'm saying that we are, let me finish it and let me get back to what you're saying.
No.
Well, I'm saying that we are looking at others when we need to create our own thing. We are look at the past, and the past is the past. We're looking at others to lead the way, and it's like, no, we are America. We need to find our own thing that works, and it probably does need to be disciplined and the things that we listed before.
But
And
we're
we
using
focus
the
more on
data
that.
that's available. All I can
Huh?
do
But,
is
Right.
but
use
we
the
can.
data that's
Yeah.
available. I can't go off of hopes and dreams and lollipops and fairy tales. I
Well,
got to
but we
use
can.
the data
Well,
that's
the data
available
is
to me.
available says
Yeah.
that women weren't allowed to have agency and they had to choose a man because they weren't allowed to be their own person. They weren't
Right.
allowed to have autonomy. So that's why they stuck in those relationships, because in order for them to survive the way that this country was set up, the way the world was set, not even just here, but in other countries as well, women had to choose a man because she wasn't allowed to have property. She wasn't allowed to have a voice, political or otherwise. That's why they stayed in those relationships. They were not happy because, oh my God, it's wonderful. He's doing everything I want. No, she didn't have a choice. She didn't
And
have an
Zadonia,
option to want for herself.
and
Go
Zadonia,
ahead.
to that point,
Some women
yes,
still
I,
don't in
I
other
wanted to
countries.
mention Asian. I mentioned Asian culture and the success rate, but what I didn't talk about was the decline of marriage rates in those cultures because women
Big
are no
time.
longer wanting to marry
Mm-hmm.
because of the duty attached to being a wife.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, marriages last longer in Asian culture, but there's also a significant decline where women are no longer seeing the value in that duty because they're like, wait, I can get an education and I can do all these other things now. And this is in other cultures. This isn't so in where it works, people are still saying, well, maybe I'll wait and get married later, which is something that we are often criticized for in
So
American culture as well. Because hey, you need to do it now while you're young, and ain't no man gonna want you when you get to a certain age and you can't
And
have
that's a
children.
lie.
Okay, yeah.
but even in saying that,
So
it's a
yeah,
new.
Yeah.
Even in saying that, that's a new concept. And if you hear like a guy like Jordan Peterson break this down, you see that like America has so much influence around the world that you have traditional women that are like, man, I'm watching YouTube and Instagram, and I've been with this one man this whole time. Maybe I should try. And then they come in and adopt these ideologies, and then they find out I actually had it better over there.
That's true.
So we don't we the data
Men do that too,
isn't
though.
conclusive to
True.
even there's
but
not enough years
I'm just we
of
can only
data
go
to
with the
collect.
stats and what's happening now though.
You're
We
using
can't
my
Sure, we
go
shit
with
can.
against
Sure,
me. I
we
like
can
how
go with
you
the
did that.
stats. Yeah, we can go with the stats. But Mr. O,
Yeah.
Who are you quoting?
but like
I
Mr.
had to
But like
quote
Mr.
Mr.
O,
O
like
back
Yeah,
to
don't
put it
you
himself.
back
You
on
know
me.
what I'm saying?
I like
I
that.
just had to. That's what. Okay, let's move
don't
on. I want to talk about this next topic because we're gonna wrap up in a minute. So let me say this: we're talking about all these things. If you don't have boundaries, will people have you in situations that you are not comfortable with being in? So
Oh
let's talk
yeah.
about these alternative lifestyles and people pretty much, saying Aisha is kind of pressuring Steph. He doesn't need to be in an open relationship, open marriage because of his notoriety, because of his access.
Yep.
You know, is it important to have boundaries in order for you to be comfortable with the choices that you make? Let's talk about it a little bit, you
Absolutely.
I
guys.
I'll
think
take a
that
lead on
people
this
Yes,
one.
should
absolutely.
always make sure that it's clear that it is first a choice and that the door unlocks from the inside. It has to be a choice, which is why it can't be based on no lies. We got to put it out in the front from the beginning, and it's got to be based on something tangible. It's got to be the truth. The foundation has got to be set with the truth. It has to be a choice first. To feel like a woman to get in a situation and feel, I don't know how to get out of this. I'm trapped now. It shouldn't feel like that. That's the problem. This whole
Yeah,
guerrilla movement.
right.
Yeah. The
Okay,
It's
what
not
boundaries
a
should be
guerrilla movement.
traditional.
let
Well,
Mr.
they
Rucker,
call guys in certain lifestyles, the ones that do it by force, they call them gorillas. So
the
Yeah.
gorillas,
right, right.
they want to be called gorillas. See, and you know what, Mr. O, I'm gonna talk about you because last time you tried to act like I called men gorillas. Remember you tried to
Say
say
monkey.
that?
You say monkey. When
Mr.
you
O
say
was
the
like,
word,
Mr. O was like, you
when you say
called.
monkey
He
around
was
black
like,
people, they
you
shut off.
called
Their ears
men
cut
That's
off.
gorillas.
Yep.
that's the truth.
When
We
you
don't
say
hear
the word
nothing
well,
else.
monkey
don't
around, you could be
well
talking
don't
about
call
a
me a
movie, and
monkey.
you
You
say the
I,
word,
I'd rather
you
be a
heard
gorilla. Get
monkey.
back to gorilla. I
I
don't want to
heard
be a
monkey, and
monkey.
their ears shut
Yeah,
off.
I
monkey.
compare.
Get back to gorilla. Can I be like
I
Caesar?
talked about primatologists, or is it primatologist?
It was a
Primatologist.
chimpanzee actually, but
Yes,
it said monkey
primatologist
being
who
funny.
study
You
who
can't say
studies
that to black
primates.
people.
Oh.
See, your own girl said it. You
No, no,
can't do
no,
that.
but they
Mm.
study primates, right? And they are this man is who created this whole idea and concept of the alpha male. And what I was saying was that we have human men comparing themselves to monkey studies.
See, I
And
hurt when
he
you said
and
that.
he didn't like it. And he didn't like that.
It just hurt
But
when you
I
said
don't care.
I'm getting triggered.
Y'all are studying monkeys.
I'm getting triggered.
Y'all are
I'm getting
y'all
I
triggered.
get what you're saying, sis.
y'all
I
are
get what you're
studying
saying.
Buck, you gotta get your voice to raise.
emulating
But men already
monkey.
shut their ears off. When they heard monkey, they shut
Yeah.
their ears
You
off.
gotta get
Nothing
I'm
else.
triggered.
Good, because
Good.
you should shut your ear off to the alpha and
It's
red
double
pill
down.
conversation too. Since you want to act like a monkey, come
Wow.
on now.
Monkeys.
And I ain't talking about a specific race. I'm talking about whoever ascribes to that alpha male mentality. You are following the study of primates,
Wow.
monkeys.
Calling
Yeah.
men who
Are
think like that.
emulating-
Every time you say it.
You are emulating a jungle, and that's what I'm telling you.
Monkeys.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Rucker.
All right. Damn.
So if I didn't make it clear that I didn't call me a monkey, whatever.
Okay.
I tried to clarify, but
You
Mr.
did.
O,
Pansy.
Mr. O already accused me of calling y'all monkeys.
No,
I did
I'm
not.
just saying, when we talked about communicating earlier, people don't hear what you're saying. They don't hear it. When you said what you said, people heard something else.
Yeah.
Especially me.
Well, then y'all
You
need to do
said that,
research.
but we heard something else.
Y'all need to do research on how the
Yeah,
alpha
you
male
said.
term was coined. Y'all need to talk. Y'all need to listen to the primatologist and his study of chimpanzees, to be exact, and how he came up with this idea of alpha male, and how he didn't mean it in the way that you all in the manosphere have translated it, and he's made
Come
that
on,
very
sis.
clear. He's made that very clear in all of his communications. He said it's not meant in the way that men are changing it and transforming it. However, if you guys want to study monkeys and
Y'all acting like monkeys.
if y'all want to emulate
Wow.
monkeys, I'm okay with
Just
that.
playing.
I just want y'all to know, to me, history matters. The source matters. A woman who's not married, who's never been married, cannot tell me about how to stay married. I'm sorry.
Facts.
I mean that. And I don't care who I offend. So if a man that developed the term is telling you this is not meant for men, this is for chimpanzees and how they operate in the jungle. We are humans. We don't emulate that behavior. So the fact that men are like, I'm an alpha man. Ooh, okay, I see this. All I see is you beating on your chest just like the chimpanzees. That's what
His
I
wife
see.
told him to say that.
You know what?
But however,
It sounds like it.
So you're here guys like Jordan Peterson. He would correlate human behavior to our most natural animal instinct
Yes,
state
he does.
anyway.
Yeah, he do.
When you think about how animals operate in the jungle, they operate just on instinct.
But
And
animals,
that is a correlation to polygamy as well.
but humans are more complex than animals. We can operate in more than one silo. Okay? In a jungle, really it's one primate who is the head, right? And then he has everyone who follows him, but he also has to have characteristics that buys everyone in. Alpha men are like, no, it's my way or the highway. Like, no, get the highway in.
No, that's Kevin
You're not an
Samuel's
alpha
followers. That's
Yeah.
not alpha. That's his
Well,
followers.
Well, these men who emulate this alpha mentality,
Yeah, there we go.
or who are heading these divisions of manosphere, who telling men how to behave and how to treat women, that is the behavior that they emulate. To me,
But
I guess
It comes down to
Like,
happiness. If a
Go
man
ahead,
is
Mr.
not
Rucker.
happy with his situation, if he's being beta, we're gonna use all these terms. If he's being beta, yeah. If he's being beta and everything, women may not see him as being beta, but as other men that understand the whole alpha beta, even if we don't say it, it's like, hey man, like you acting like this or that. We're gonna use a different term that might be harsh, like you act like a little bitch. It's the same thing though. We all understand that, but we getting tripped up over the labels. So if you don't want to take care of an alpha or you don't want to recognize alpha, that's cool, but you're gonna encounter alpha or beta one way or another, whether you believe in that or not. You can tell by how they carry themselves, whether they talk a lot or they don't. If they want to run things, they don't even have to say too much. It depends on that. But these labels matter even if we don't say it. It's like, okay, we can tell this person's either beta or alpha, even just by looking at their facial expression. So
See
you may
that
not like it, but we do communicate it in one way or another. So you can
Not
wipe out
until I
that.
got into this manosphere space. I
but
never
like,
I
looked at
wanted to ask
men
y'all.
in that way
look,
ever in
look
my life.
But
I
we
want to
I
say
want to
this.
answer your question when you finished. When
The
y'all
Go
finish.
ahead.
animal, see,
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
animal kingdom, it correlates our natural instinct, and they've also correlated that to Scandinavia when left into their own vices without outside influence. Humans tend to act instinctually, i.e., the lioness feeds the king before she eats, and that's correlated to the woman fixing the man's plate, which Tawana's against making plates, but like they do that, they conduct themselves instinctually in these kingdoms. And I want to say one thing, that evolution doesn't always mean the best choice, because evolution just opens up the window for more error.
No, I'm not against making plates. Don't say that, because see, I
You
make.
you thought about making the plate the other day. You
I
did.
am not
And I
against
just do
it.
not understand. Like I want you to make my plate. That's just
I'm
simple
not
as
against
that.
it because I do make my husband's plate. But what I'm saying
Sometimes
is, sometimes,
when he
exactly.
cook, he make it. You
Sometimes he
said that.
makes the plate. He does make my plate when he cooks, especially when I was pregnant. He was so good about it. I used to
But
be
if you
like, I
had
was
a
like,
party, if
dang.
you had like a cookout, you don't want to be the only dude where your girl ain't go get your plate for you. Like you like, if your homeboy girl went and got his plate, you gonna be
Right.
sitting there. Come
Well,
on,
You're gonna
man.
look at him as like beta. You're not
well, I
gonna
hope my
beta
husband.
man.
I
Beta
hope.
Beta.
male.
I hope he got a little
My
bit more
homeboy, his
confidence
girl
to be
brought him a
like,
plate,
I
but
can
I
make
gotta
my
go get
own damn
mine.
Right.
plate.
You
I
better
would eat
say
right
that,
in front of
sis.
him, be like, "Oh man, this is nice." Like,
Well, I hope
Come
my
on,
I hope
Zatonia.
my
You
man
wouldn't
can be
make my
like,
plate?
We
yeah,
just like we ego, we simple
Listen,
creatures. All we
okay,
want is
beta.
he
them simple
asked
little
me.
things.
I don't get the point. I'm just saying, how is that
able-bodied adults
showing
can't
any
make their
level
own
of
plate.
commitment that I'm any more committed than?
Cause
I don't understand that.
It
I mean,
just
but
make it
I
strokes
see.
our
I
ego.
mean,
It
since
make us
it's
look
in,
good around our peers. Like we
okay,
sitting there with a bunch of guys,
all right.
and you bring us a plate, we be like, yeah,
sis,
she love
Yeah,
me. And the
Now
guys, they tell them
yeah,
like, she really cut for you. You know,
yeah.
when his friends come
yeah. It give
when
us
his
a little ranking amongst the males. You know,
when his friends come to our
okay. So it's
house,
about your ego.
yeah.
or
We simple
Yes,
yeah,
creatures. We
yeah,
You're
simple.
well,
very simple.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
that's
are.
yeah.
We
true.
are. I ain't gonna
Stop.
lie.
Sorry,
She's
go
like Z
ahead,
is like, you're
Steph.
very
Let
simple.
it
You
let's slide this.
no. When
stop.
It
people when
don't take a
people
lot
Stop.
for to make a man happy. It don't. It don't take a lot for
no,
us.
it don't take a.
That's
I'm saying
true.
when people come to my house, I am very much of a. I'm serving, I'm making plates. I'm a very like nurturing.
Oh,
So I'm that type of person because when someone comes here, I want them to have the best experience. I got wine on deck, whatever. I got options. I got all this stuff. I'm a good host. But the whole making the plate first and
When that
then
company leave, when
like
that company leave, she like, get it your damn self.
It
well,
don't
like
even
what?
feel the
Like
same
I
when you
don't
do it
cook.
when it's just
God,
y'all
Don't
two.
make
Radar.
your own
It
plate.
only matters when you do it in front of company. You got to
Right,
make the plate in front of other people. We want other people to
Right.
see you make the plate and bring it to me.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try
it
that.
helps
I'm gonna
us.
try that.
It makes
Oh
us
That's
I'm
that
gonna
happy.
does
It
so
try
he
helps
matter.
the
can
men.
walk to that kitchen and make his
Like
own
all
plate.
the men, when we go anywhere, we be ranking ourselves like who's the main guy. And the
Right.
one that got the plate brought to him, he get a little bit more. Give him a little bit extra amongst the peers.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
make
wanna
us look good.
I got one more question for us. I do want to address this one thing that Shay said. She said there is a dominance hierarchy among males.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't say it wasn't. All I'm saying is that they're mimicking monkeys because that's the truth.
I
I'm
love
gonna like
That's
that.
give you
I'm
another
not saying
scenario.
Shay that they're. I'm not saying that they don't have a dominance, and maybe it's because they emulated. Maybe so. To me, primates are smarter than humans because you guys are stealing their entire. Is
But
that what y'all saying?
Swag.
if
It's
you look
selling
at
they
like really
swag.
Like
It's a
y'all
shaming
consistently,
stealing.
tactic you're doing.
Y'all
let's say I
stealing.
got a
Shaming
multi-million
tactic.
dollar deal on the
I
table,
just think that's
and
weird to
everybody
me.
came over to my home after we had dinner. And if my woman is in the kitchen making sure the food is laid out, and then she bringing over
Right.
to the men that I'm trying to close this deal with, he gonna be like, "Oh, I like what you got going on. I'm gonna go on sign."
Right.
You
Wait,
know,
this about
that
your
could be
plate?
the difference in getting the
Back to the
deal
plate.
done.
Yeah,
Like
back to the
just
plate.
something simple like that. The way your wife
But why?
responds to
Why
you.
can't you be a high value man and we have
Because
a mate?
men look at that and be like, okay, if
You're right there, though.
his woman
Why
respects
do
him
we
like
can't?
that,
Why can't we have a maid? Because what if I'm with the children or I'm doing whatever? Because I
Right
don't want
there,
to
though.
be.
I will say I
You got to
have made
share with the
plates.
maid,
I
though.
have
You
made
got to
a plate
share.
I don't
before.
know.
Yeah.
I
She
don't
got
know
to be
why
a
this
sister
the thing.
wife.
Even
Good.
when I say it out loud, I don't know why it's so important when I say it
No,
out loud. But in the time when it's going on, like
Right,
bring
Mr.
me
O,
my
you've been
plate.
trying
Like,
to sell.
I'm not going to get my own plate. Like you,
He got
Mr.
emotional
O
about
trying to
that.
sell
I'm
it
two
to me.
player. Like I can't
But he,
stand in
It's a
line.
Mr.
metaphor.
O
The
got
plate is the
emotional.
metaphor.
Bring
the
my
next,
You gonna make all this stand in the line?
Mr. O,
Right.
I believe
Put
the
this shit
next
on, man.
episode.
Like, I ain't put this shit on the sweat.
The
The
plate is the
next
metaphor.
episode, I
You trying to do
I
no
believe
work?
you will convince me. I
You
believe
gonna
you
make me
can
watch the
convince me.
difference
Sis,
too?
I make
But
plates,
you ain't
sis.
convinced
I
me
do.
this time.
You
I
got
make
plates?
plates.
Yeah, I knew you made plates. That's
I
why I
do.
like you. I knew you
Yeah.
made
Yeah. I
plates.
like her. Yeah.
I
Plates.
knew she made plates.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
I
said
could
I
tell.
make damn plates, okay? But it's
You don't
like,
want
Do
to
it with
do
the
it though.
smile.
You can tell when
no,
you
I
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
do it.
do
We
it.
don't want
I
no
You gonna
plate
make
with
the
an
plate all
attitude.
messed
do it.
Yeah.
up. She ain't gonna. She like, you know, he
Take
like
your
three
plate.
ribs. She gonna put two on there. You
A
know,
Yeah.
she
plate with
gonna.
a side of attitude.
I
You
make
know he don't
plates
like
because
potato
I
salad.
know, and I know stuff that my husband don't like. I be putting stuff
You
on
gonna
there. He
put
be
it
like,
on
See?
"Why
there.
you put that
See?
on there? You know I don't like that." I be like, "Well, if you would have made your
make
own
your
plate,
own
Oh,
plate.
And
Nah,
then
see,
you ain't
that's
gonna put
we
it in
don't
his
need that.
hand.
We
She
don't need
gonna
a
set it
message.
on the table in front of him. She ain't gonna put it in his hand. You gotta
Yeah.
put it in his hand.
yeah, I
Y'all
put
You
it
just
in his
throw it on
hand."
the table. That go your plate. And
I
some of the
make plates
And then
macaroni
I
just
that
could
as
just,
if
fell
I'm in
off.
the
and
Like,
you
kitchen.
know what,
come
Mr.
on, man.
O, next time I'm just gonna take the fork and feed him too. Okay?
there we go.
Yeah.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna give
Man,
y'all,
He's
that would
handicapped.
There
I'm
we
gonna
He's
give
go.
them. I'm
handicapped.
a
But not in
birthday
front of the business
after.
you
partner
would
though.
get a lot of points for that. You would.
Okay,
Not in front of the business partner, because that
I'm gonna
might that
do it.
might taint the deal.
That might
I'm gonna
be the
wipe
Check
it.
this
difference
out.
between that Michael Kors
I'm gonna
bag and
take
that
the
Chanel
napkin. I'm gonna
bag.
wipe his little face off and everything. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and
do
then
it
he
all.
gonna take you shopping in the morning because of it. Like that's how it goes.
Listen, let
But if
me
you're
be
doing it
clear
as like a
though.
That's how it
slight
goes.
Let
insult,
me
that's a
let me
message.
clarify, sis. I make plates, but that's if
Yes.
I'm in the kitchen. He also makes a plate for me. This isn't just a one-way thing.
This ain't a
No
Like
one.
we both
problem.
gotta
If
eat.
you're sick,
No
Okay,
problem.
if
I'm
you're
okay with
sick,
that.
we
I'll
both
make
have
you
to
a plate.
eat.
Yeah,
If
my
you're sick.
listen. If
Hey,
he
Yeah.
cooks, which he doesn't really do, but if he does, he'll make my plate. Yeah.
but
I
you know,
think
like
she's
if
saying
you're a
that.
good cook, you wanna plate the stuff you cooked. You wanna
Right.
plate it and make it look nice because you're serving your girl.
So don't
Yeah.
just slap it on
Mhm.
there.
Yeah,
Don't
But
no,
like
no.
to be
See,
honest, though,
we get pride in what we do. Pride.
there's
Look,
certain
you
things though.
gonna get
Pride.
this plastic
We're
plate,
cooking.
and you might get a
No.
real fork, but you gonna get a plastic plate, okay? 'Cause
Oh
I'm not
no.
washing
No,
no
we
dishes.
got
Washing no
dishwashers.
dishes.
You can
You
get a
plate,
real
you
plate.
can't even
It's
eat a
not that
steak on
hard.
it. No steak
That's
Y'all,
an
knives on the
insult.
paper
y'all
plate.
be
Don't
just
try to insult with the plates, man. Just a
listen.
proper
Okay,
plate, and that's it. You don't have to
Get some
slam it.
business
Just
paper.
Every guy is
Hey.
different though. At the end of the
Hey.
day, some guys have deal breakers and some ain't. And if my deal breaker is like you got to make my plates, and she love me, she gonna make it. It's
This
some
how
things
Well,
that
that's
he won't
different.
that she do. She know it's some
We
things
not
she
breaking
love
up if I
that
don't
she.
make your plate. Like, come
come
on. I
on,
do too
man.
many
No,
other
that's
wonderful
my
yeah,
things.
thing.
You're
time
not
out.
worried about me making your
You
plate.
If you
gonna break
embarrass
up
me in
if
front of
you
my
ain't making the
peers,
plate?
if you embarrass me in front of my guys, everybody else got their plates made and I ain't getting that. Oh
Yeah,
no, you gonna walk home.
Right.
be a
No,
quiet
you
walk
can't
back.
now you cannot embarrass your man now. If every
Yeah,
other
no.
Don't
woman
do
then
that.
got up and you sitting
Don't
there
make it
like,
play.
girl,
All
But
you
the
this
make
how
this
girls.
this how
all plate.
Tawana gonna do it though. Tawana gonna do it just like this.
Like, I'm gonna tell them women. I actually might tell the women like y'all extra as fuck. But okay, I'm gonna do this. Y'all
Thank you.
extra.
Thank you.
You got me
Y'all
doing all
super
this
extra, but
unnecessary stuff
okay.
in my house because y'all making plates.
Still make that
Now he
plate,
looking at me. Look.
So this brings me to my next question, which is my last question from y'all. Like, do relationships suck?
No.
Without a prenup, yes.
Like, because I mean, everybody feels like alternative lifestyles, doing all this other stuff is like the answer to happiness, and like it's starting to make me think like,
Do what
can
the
we
relationships
do?
they're in suck.
At the
Okay.
end of the day,
Relationships that you're not in
nobody
with the
wants
right
to be by
person sucks,
themselves,
yeah.
man. Nobody wants to be by themselves. So everybody
not
just
made to
gotta
be by
find a
ourselves.
deal.
Yeah.
Just find
Mhm.
somebody that you can accept they shit and they can accept your bullshit
That's a
and go
word.
there. Because at the end of the day, you rather have somebody not making your plate and getting on your nerves than nobody there at all.
That's
Facts.
true.
Facts.
So we could say they reload, but nobody want to be by themselves, man. And you could say that all you want to, but it's a lie.
That's true.
We wasn't even meant to be here by ourselves. Man was here by
Correct.
himself, and
That's
God
true.
realized he needed somebody.
Somebody
So
alone.
the world
Amen.
went dark. He took a rib and made a helpmeet to
Amen.
give
Yeah,
him
I
somebody to
don't
help
want to
him.
imply. I don't want to
Help me.
imply that alternative relationships are not relationships. I'm
We need
sorry that
somebody. We
I
all
didn't mean to imply that. What I'm saying is, um, can partnerships work in monogamous situations, or I guess monogamy can happen
True.
within a polygamous
Of
relationship
course.
as
Of
well.
course.
But what I'm saying is, can we work in a nuclear family, right?
Yes.
One person, I
Absolutely.
mean one male, one woman in the household. Is that possible to be happy? Or do relationships really suck? And are people just genuinely unhappy in relationships?
I think
Oh,
monogamy is like just the most selfish thing ever created. It's just selfish. It's so selfish. Like
No partnerships.
the thing about
True.
life is like you don't know what you don't know. And to like make a verbal commitment with a guy, okay, you my boyfriend, you my girlfriend, let's shake hands. And then the next day you walked in the coffee shop and you feel something that you can't pull away from. Are you not supposed to experience life anymore because of a verbal agreement you made? Like life ain't even meant to be like that. That's not why we here. We're like cells. We're here to gather information and pass on experience and evolve and procreate and make new things. That's why this world we got drones flying and bridges and because we gathered information and we came together and passed it on. We didn't say no. I got a boyfriend. I got a girlfriend, so I don't see you, sir. Like Playboy walk over there with no shirt on, y'all ain't gonna look.
we
That's
can look.
not
You can.
real. It's not a real thing to say, no, I'm monogamous, so I cannot
I
experience you.
don't
I
think
can't feel
monogamy
you.
means you can't look.
But
I don't think
it's a
that.
feeling though.
You're
When
not
you
allowed to.
No,
meet a person, you feel a vibration, you feel something. And the
I.
conversation just it intensifies whatever you feel. You
But
can't
I
let
mean,
there's
let's
I.
let
pheromones that
let
exist.
Ladonia respond because I feel like it's a little pushback from what you're saying.
Biology says pheromones are real, right?
Yeah.
Mm. So
But,
I'm.
but when I
I
say I
just
Okay,
got a
feel
girlfriend,
okay.
like
I
I
don't
think
have
that you
one no
can
more.
have several.
Let Ladonia, and then you guys can go after her.
I think that you can be in a monogamous relationship. My eyes, I'm not blind now that I'm in a committed relationship with one person, right? That's not accurate. I can look at a woman and say she's an attractive woman. It doesn't mean that I want to entertain more than just recognizing she's an attractive woman. My sis Wanda is beautiful. I can say that she's a beautiful woman. It doesn't mean that I want to be in a relationship with her. You get vibrations in any relationship you're with. That's why you continue those relationships and you grow them. That's whether it's friendship or family or whether it's platonic. Like that doesn't mean that I'm
But
cheating because I have a I mean I like looking at nice looking men. If Idris walked past me with no shirt on, because that's who I like,
but
I'll be like, he
again,
fine.
why
Good
are
job,
you
Idris.
here though? Aren't you here to for humans to meet other humans and to figure out why we met? We're on
Well,
our
I have
own
vibrations
journeys.
with all of you.
It
That doesn't, I
there's
mean,
a reason why
there's
you meet
energy
certain people.
exchange.
You meet certain people for a reason, and it's up to us to figure out why we met that person. And
Yeah.
we can't
I
say
agree,
I'm
but
not
that doesn't mean
going
I
to
want to get down with each
experience
one of
this
them.
earthly experience because of a word named monogamy. You
But
cannot not experience life anymore.
I don't have to
It's
experience
organic.
everybody the same way though, is what I'm saying.
I didn't say
What I have
organic.
with one person in particular, hold on, let me finish. What I have with one person in particular, if I decide to be in a nuclear family and a monogamous relationship and I am choosing, because all of these are choices. If I am choosing to be with this one person, that's what I want to do. I can choose to look at somebody else and be like, he is fine, right?
Thank
And
you.
still want to
Thank
go
you.
home to the person that I'm with, right? That's a choice that I'm making.
Right.
I can choose to
Right.
experience them how I want to. If I want to do something further, then that's something I'm choosing.
Right.
But then I have a responsibility to the person that I chose monogamy with to say, you know what? I might want to do something different, because
Yeah.
if they're choosing monogamy, we're in agreement that we just want to be with each other, right?
It's
So
selfish.
that's a choice.
It's
No,
selfish.
that's
If you're
we
not
disagree
married
on
to
that.
that man, if y'all not married, you don't know why you meet the next person. You don't know what you don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I'm single till
You
I'm
know when
married.
girls tell me they
But
got a girlfriend, you know what they got a boyfriend. You know what my response is? I said that's cute, but I can't hold you accountable for something that's a choice you made prior to you even knowing of my existence. Me and
that's
him don't
marriage
want
is
the same thing
different.
out of you.
Marriage and
Me and you
boyfriend
are
is different.
meant to experience life on a whole nother level.
But marriage and boyfriend is different because I view dating. I don't think that, especially in our community, if we raised in the church, you're supposed to be with that one person, stay with them forever. No, to me, dating should be like trying on shoes. Right? You go to the store, you try on however many pair of shoes you like until you decide the ones that you want to keep. That's how I view dating. You should date several people. You don't know what you like. How do I know what I like if how do I know that I like other foods if I don't sample other foods? So yes, you should
Look at your face.
when you're dating, you should do several different things. But when you just when you're married and you decide this is what we're doing a traditional marriage, then you're with that person.
No,
That's
all
how I
that's
feel
wrong.
about it.
No,
No,
let
that's
me
that
absolutely
modern
not.
woman.
Why
No,
would
Stop
I
the cap.
stay?
So
That's
somebody
not
hit the
modern.
stop the cap.
no.
Somebody hit the
That's
cap.
listen.
no, that is the truth.
Yeah.
That's what
He ain't
men do.
speaking nothing but facts. I'm telling y'all.
Those are not
That's
facts.
what
Those are feelings.
no.
Facts over
No, you
feelings, and
should
that was
date other
all
people.
feelings.
Why would you date one person? And I'm in agreement with Mr. Owen. This, but I should experience several different people before I get married.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to date one person, and because I'm dating him and I like him and I meet somebody else and we have something that's, we an energy that I'm like, ooh, I want to see if this goes further. I'm not going to say, well, you know what, I've been to dinner with him a few times and we decided that we're exclusive, so I'm not going to date. I'm not doing that because I don't know if that's the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. That's crazy to date one person and then the
No,
women will be sitting up crying when she spent 7 years waiting for this man to propose.
That's
no.
no fault.
Because
Well,
that's crazy.
Because
you
that
know what,
choice of monogamy you
Zidonia,
had, that's why you stayed for 7.
Exactly.
I have so many girlfriends single who do that. They date one man. I think it's also a fear of being seen as promiscuous
Yep.
or and
Men can do it.
there's is a societal
Yeah, but women
pressures
get 3
on women.
lifetimes.
I know, but women feel like they can't date multiple
Correct.
men or they don't want to, appear
I
to
didn't say you
be.
had to sleep with all of them. You
Yeah.
can go to
Come
dinner. We
on.
both got to
But
eat.
listen, if you want to sleep with them, okay. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
hate that
Whoa.
people,
Yeah, it's
I hate
okay.
Right.
that
Go
people
That's
ahead.
the
make
truth
that feel.
too.
I
That's
Sleep
feel
the
with
like
truth
them.
people
too.
make you feel bad about
Your
dating
choices.
multiple men,
Hmm.
and when women do commit, then they do feel like, man, I didn't experience that, and then maybe there's other things that happen in a relationship as a result, and men should stop really shaming women for
Nope.
that, so that women can feel like, oh,
Ruckus, I will never
I want
stop.
to date.
I will never stop shaming.
When will that stop?
That's
Like, what
crazy.
age? Like at 35, at 40? Because after a certain age, that gets embarrassing. Like, damn, you
I
got
know.
gray hairs and you still dating?
Look at
Yes,
him
I know
shaming.
queer
Let it
people.
sting.
Why
It's
is
so
that
No, but
sad.
embarrassing?
that's how people are socialized to believe that by a certain age you got to have XYZ. That's bullcrap.
What?
Absolutely not.
Wait, let me say this, y'all.
Biology.
I am
Senior
five.
citizen dating?
Listen, I am 5 subscribers away from 200. If y'all don't subscribe to my dang on channel right now and get me to 200 before this live is over, I know
Hey,
it's some
me
people.
too.
We need
I
it.
need some too.
There is
Me
Listen,
too.
this is
I'm
about
about to
Wanna
start a
Chicken. Let's
YouTube.
stop. This
Yes.
is about
Her
Wanna
channel's
Chicken.
closed.
it's a small amount of women that over the age of 35 are still pleasing to the eye of most men. Y'all are anomalies, man.
Come
Wait,
on.
hold on.
Y'all are
Because
you are an
No, he's
anomaly.
saying you're an
You are an
anomaly.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
There
oh,
ain't a
okay.
whole lot of y'all.
She
So
fixed
it's
plates.
disingenuous to tell most women to go out here and think they can live a lifetime of men. To
Yep.
be honest, in my 20s, I was the definition of an idiot. I was no value to a woman. My 30s, I got to recover and try to correct things. But it wasn't until 40 that I was any value to a woman. I got to
okay.
reinvent myself multiple times. And I got way more time on this planet to be valued to a woman. And a woman don't have as
Exactly.
much time on this planet.
Mhm.
You can't a 50-year-old man has way more options than a 50-year-old woman.
Yep.
Okay, so what I'm saying is in your 20s, because when you're a teenager in your 20s and all of that, women should date several people. She
Oh,
should not be the first guy you meet at 20. You are no, because as you
she
just
should
said,
be
you was an
getting
idiot in your
laced.
20s.
She should be getting laced by her mama and her
Laced.
grandmama. Yeah, game.
What
Be
does that
giving
mean?
game on how to choose
Oh, well,
men
Oh, I was like,
early
what?
in
yeah,
life.
but
She
how
should
do
be
you
getting
How?
know?
game
I
on
was
how to
confused for a
Laced.
second
choose.
too. I was like,
Jeez.
late.
She
What
should
does
be
that
That's a
getting
mean?
whole nother
groomed.
topic. That's a whole
She's
nother
supposed to
topic,
be
Mister
getting
O,
groomed
of what
early. So by
moms
the
are
time
telling
she
their
hit
daughters and
20,
stuff. You
she's
know, that's a whole
groomed
nother
enough to
thing.
know how to choose a suitable suitor. You shouldn't
But
be out
she
here
still
like
has to date more than one
dating
person. The
is the
There
first
has to
man
be a
she
stupidest
limit.
thing
meets.
ever. It's so sad to see a woman that's with a guy for 5 years, knowing when I know ain't nothing coming out of that for her. But she's
Exactly.
like, I'm monogamous to him, so I'm gonna
Yep.
sit in this thing
Exactly.
for 5 years. And
You're
then you
supporting
got
my
nothing
point.
but you're older. You're just older.
You're supporting my point
Wasting
because then
your
all you
time,
have is a
lady.
That's a
bunch of
waste
time.
of
All y'all
time.
got,
Why would
what
you
Wasting
did
give a
Oprah
her
guy
say
five,
time.
seven, 10
in
years of
Love
your life
Jones?
and
All
a
we got
baby?
is all these years.
Yeah.
That's all they have. All they have is all these years.
So
So,
But
these
Mr. Rucker, you can shake your head if
so
you
these
want
women in their
to,
20s are like
ladies.
car leases, every 2 years, just like, oh, it's another one, oh, it's another one, oh, it's another one. Like, come on, like there has to be a limit to it. Like, okay, girl, I'm 30. I think I need to settle down because this is
yeah,
gonna get embarrassing. You can't keep doing this in
If
your
maybe
that's
40s.
not
she
what she
will.
wants to do,
Yeah, maybe she will, but she can experience life and date and be comfortable with who she is. Or if you don't even, it's not even necessarily date, but
I'm gonna
just
say this.
become
get
who
you a
you are
roster,
Hey,
straight
girl.
up.
cause the chat let me have it. Like I don't do
Roster,
blanket statements. No, not all. Not
Not all,
all.
Not
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 all.
all.
Thank you.
all.
I can't see
roster,
your
Especially
sign.
from
I
You
know
gotta
it's
put
so
anonymous.
it.
it's so bright.
It's a
You
lot
gotta
of
put
So
it in
bright.
sign in
balance,
it.
dude.
Hmm.
Okay.
not
Not
I don't
all.
know.
I
It's too
made it.
bright.
I
It's
made it an
it's
arts and crafts day.
Oh Lord.
Let me
Not
say this.
all.
I will say thank you guys so much from the panel. You guys did an amazing job just kind of clarifying this whole
I
idea of
appreciate y'all.
alternative lifestyles, polygamy, open marriages. For the record, I do not believe that Ayesha and Stephen Curry are who this anonymous source is speaking
Right.
about. It is all alleged. And nothing has been confirmed. And we don't even know this woman who will not reveal herself is the one who spilled this tea. So we just, was just using this to base this conversation and open up you guys' ideas about these different types of relationships. But as I was going through with my first marriage, I was the one thing I thought about was wasting my life and time. I was like,
Mhm.
man, wait, um, I'm 30, like, and I don't love this man, and I don't want to be with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I gonna do? Just stay in this marriage because I got 2 kids, or what am I gonna do? So I think that for me, the mentality is always, am I wasting my time? And I don't want to waste my time. So I agree with Mr. O in that respect. Like, hey, how do you intentionally date where you're dating or you're being with someone to get the results that you want,
Wana.
and without
Mr.
putting
Rucker
boundaries
wants you to
on
stay
yourself.
there.
Hi, Mr. Rucker. What you say?
No, it was me. I was
Oh,
asking a
hey, go
question.
LB. Out.
Sorry.
What you say?
I was gonna ask you a question. You said that you woke up. I mean, not woke up, but you realized you were in 30s and you didn't want to be in that relationship. And we talked about Muslim religion and them submitting to a council or whatever, and to get permission to get divorced.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. O. But Juana, if you if we were in such a society that did that, would you submit? Would you be like, council, I want to get divorced for
Man,
X, Y, and Z reasons? Would you put yourself in that
I
position?
would convince him to come to America so I could divorce him.
No, if we're
oh
doing that in America, if we're doing that in
I'd
America,
be like,
Nikki
that's
later.
you
a
should come to
cop out.
America.
If we're doing that in
America
America,
is a great place. And then as soon as we got here, I was leaving
don't take
because I'm like,
half, don't
no,
do it,
no, what I'm
prenup.
saying. Obviously, I would have no choice but to submit because I would be ingrained in that culture. So I would just be stuck. Well, I hope, like Mr. O said, that they would vet me with the right man and I wouldn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? I would have never even made that choice. But if they didn't, and I had the same situation, I mean, it wasn't the right situation for me, So I felt like I had a different life to live, and I wanted to make sure that I met a partner that I truly felt like we could build together and we could do the things that I, envisioned for my life. Where me and him have the same goals. So I agree
That's
with
awesome.
everything that you guys said. I love this panel. You guys
Yeah,
did
this
great.
was
Y'all
fun.
rocked
Yeah,
it
me
out.
too.
Y'all
I
been
hope
on here for
everybody go
almost 3
subscribe to my
hours.
channel, please.
Mine too, please,
So I'm gonna let
everybody.
everybody speak before we get off because we still got 8 minutes. I want everybody to, if you want them to subscribe or whatever you want to wrap it up and say. And I'm gonna start with you, Mr. O, because you have been intricate and really just kind of clarifying for us what
Thank
this
you.
means and what these relationships are like. So you go ahead and kick us off, Mr. O.
Yeah, I know we glorifying some things and we kind of like talking loosely, man. But like I don't want people to go out here and like try to put more in their basket than they can handle. We're not talking about something that's meant for everybody to do. At the end of the day, I just want people to
Yeah.
focus on what you want out of life and find somebody that you can get through life with, so you're not alone, and just get a good deal, man. I'm Mr. O. I'm just living. Please subscribe to Mr. O is Just Living and check out my content. And I rock with Warner, man. So y'all see me again.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
what's it, Zendonia? Please,
Zidonia.
Zendonia, please go
Zidonia.
subscribe to my channel. And I'd love to
Oh,
do something with you.
okay.
We can work. I like your perspective. I do a show called
I
Players
will I will
Perspective
share your
with my
information
co-host. She gonna
with her.
love health. She'll love health.
Yeah, she will. That'll be
Yeah.
great. I want Sidonia to be a part of the garden, but I'm gonna let her make that decision. She gotta kind of see what y'all
Okay.
about first.
Mhm.
So go ahead, Mr. Evolutionary Playboy. Let them know.
Man, I have fun today. The Evolutionary Playboy. That's my YouTube and Instagram. Please subscribe and follow. And again, like Mr. O said, all we can do is speak from our perspective. We're not telling you to go do what we do or be who we are, but just put that energy into finding out who you really are and water that crop right there. Don't try to focus on what everybody else doing. Don't let other people's luck become your hope. Go do the work, man.
Thank you, Mr. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys. They both have their own YouTube channels. I'm subscribed to both of them. But I also am a co-host or co-panelist with Evolutionary Playboy on Mr. CYP. And we do that every Wednesday. And we talk real crazy on there too. So y'all come check us out on there. All right, Zidonia, go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, I don't have a YouTube channel, but I mean, you can follow me on Instagram at permboxz. That's me. And
Can you
only
can
thing
you
else,
spell it? You said what?
permboxz.
E. Okay.
PERMBOXZ. That's me. Um, really, at the end of the day, just do what works for you. As I said before, love somebody and mean it. Start with yourself. Love yourself and mean it. And then you'll do what works for you. That's all. I enjoyed myself today. Y'all are hilarious.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Prenup, Mr. Rucker. What you gotta say, Mr. Rucker?
Well, I have fun. Thank you for y'all, for women making the plates. Please do it with a smile. Don't slam it. Don't give him extra things he don't like. Just smile. Don't embarrass him. You have too much power if you do that. But anyway, I enjoyed this panel. I love being here and everything. You can find me on these YouTube streets. I have my own channel at Mr. Rucker Mr. If you don't know that, then you can log on to my website, lamarracing.com. Then there's links to that. I also have a channel for just for cars, because I love cars and racing, called Lamar Racing. You can look that up. And anything else y'all want to know about prenups, hit me up on that channel. I have a lot of videos about prenups. So, like,
I'm
yeah, I'm not
joining
just
your
speaking about
channel.
it. I don't know if I'm going to be married come February. We'll see. February's
If she
mediation.
don't sign that prenup, she not going.
I'm joining his channel just to troll and tell everybody do not get a prenup.
So, like, majority of my videos are prenups, but it's like, yeah, it's the pod prenups. I go in depth, 90-day fiance prenup reactions and stuff. Like, I'm cheering for men signing prenups. Don't let her take half, man. You can't start over again. You're too old. You're gonna run out of time. Prenups matter. That's all.
Prenup matter. Oh
Yes.
my goodness. Thank you, Mr. Rucker. It's a pleasure to have you. All right. Last but not least, certainly not least, Mr. LB, what do you got to say about everything?
This is what everybody else is basically saying. Like, just do the work to get to know yourself. Do the work to get to know yourself, and know that when you're in these YouTube streets and listen to these videos, these are all opinions, and you have to make your decisions and stick with them. And yeah, just do the work. Do the work to get to know yourself. That's what's most important. All right.
What I want to say is thank you guys so much for joining. If you have not subscribed, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and make comments. We want to have the conversation afterward. If you rewatch it and you're like, no, I don't like what she was saying, that don't make sense. React to it and let me know what you think. I just don't appreciate the manosphere blaming Ayesha Curry for this damn rumor. How is it that men, if you want to be
mad
leaders,
at Ayesha and Jada.
Yeah, like if y'all want to be leaders, be leaders. Jada Pickett Smith. Y'all know who the hell Jada is. Jada Pickett.
Jada's at fault for that.
If men want to be leaders, y'all need to be leaders and stop blaming women for everything. I'm sorry, I gotta leave off with that comment because men need to take control of their communities. They need to take control of their homes, and they need to stop blaming everybody else for the decisions that they make. That woman, even if they are in an open relationship and we don't know, we have not confirmed, that was a decision that both those people made. And don't put that on Ayesha as if she is the one who's forcing this man like he ain't got a mind of his own and he can't think for himself. I do not make no excuses for no man because they want to be leaders. Y'all need to step up there. Be a leader. Okay?
Thank you for
and I will...
me.
No problem.
Thank you for having me, Juana.
You guys take care. Love you, love you, love you.
Thank y'all.
And I'll see y'all next time, okay?
All right.
All right.
Breed up.
Bye.